Welcome everybody to the first episode of a new project where I talk to Kingdom Hearts creators and pick their brains and get to know them a little bit more, and then hopefully other people get to know them more, and we have this whole uh dialogue of just I don't even know where I'm going with this. But just essentially, I'm a yapper and I want to yap with people. And so, my first guest on this yapping project is the none other than Pluto, Master of Masters himself, Nobody Daxian. And
Thanks for
Ed,
having me on. I'm
Ed,
glad I'm known as the Pluto guy.
yeah, the most iconic version of Dax that we know is Mr. Pluto Man himself. But yeah,
That's
go
true.
ahead and introduce yourself. You've got the floor. Plug whatever you want to plug. Let the people know who you are and all that stuff. And yeah.
Yeah. So my name is Nobody Daxian. I am a Kingdom Hearts content creator on YouTube and on Twitch. I used to be a Kingdom Hearts content creator on TikTok, although my focus has shifted from short form content to long form content and streaming.
It's crazy how like we came from TikTok and now I feel like TikTok has been so I don't want to say outdated, but I kind of feel the same way because you've mentioned this before where you're like you just don't feel um like TikTok is like the platform for you for like your the type of content that
Mhm.
you want to make. You
Yeah,
feel like YouTube fits a lot better. And
yeah.
at first I was kind of like, oh, TikTok's fine. I don't have an issue with TikTok. But then I started to feel that too, where I'm like, I don't get the same sort of like the vibe is very different versus where it was with, like with YouTube when I post stuff on there. And yeah, like I still post stuff on TikTok, but I definitely can tell that I have more of an interest with YouTube and even like a little bit more with Instagram. I feel like Instagram, I've had some pretty good success on there, and I don't know, TikTok just kind of feels like yeah, it's there, but
Yeah.
definitely my interests are elsewhere. But I
For
mean,
sure.
TikTok's always on the chopping block, so I think it's good to have your eggs in other baskets because you
hmm
never know what's gonna happen with it.
Also, audience, be prepared for a lot of side tangents.
Oh, 100%.
We Brisk and I have had conversations that lasted until like 4 a.m. on more than one occasion. So just
It's
be prepared.
it's funny because like when I do streams, like when I would play when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out, I was like, I'm not doing a live stream unless I can be live for 8 to 10 hours. And I
Oh
was like, if
God.
I can only stream for 2 hours, I'm not playing. Honestly, my live streams, it's like a whole day. And but the thing is, it's like when I play them, I don't do it consistently, which I do hope to have more of a consistent schedule. And obviously, I can't be doing like 10-hour streams all the time. But but when it comes to just me doing something, I'm like all for like if this ends up being 8 hours, which I know it's not going to be 8 hours, but like if this were to be 8 hours, I wouldn't be against it. I mean, technically, what we started talking before this at like
Yeah.
6:30.
Yeah.
Well, I
We
guess
actually
six
had
thirty
a
my
two and a half
time.
hour conversation
Yeah,
about
we li-
just about various topics.
So I'm sure we're gonna have more of that in this recording, which is like this is why because I mentioned it to you before the recording, but like this like our conversations is the reason why I wanted to start this like new project of like talking to people, and
So when this blows up, just remember I'm responsible for your success.
I mean
That's clearly.
yeah, 100%. I'll give you all the credit. Just be like, he brought out the yap in me, and that's where I came to now.
That sounds wrong. That sounds so wrong.
But yeah, no, like literally when I had this idea, I was like, well, Dax has to be the first person I do this project with because it's like this idea would not be happening if it wasn't for the fact that we had our long tangents that we usually do, and yeah, so now the world can be subjected to our yapathon.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, we're gonna make this. a fun time as it always is. It's never not a fun time. I don't feel like I've ever had a scenario where I'm like, damn, I did not enjoy that discussion. I feel like every time we've had a discussion, it goes in so many different directions, but I'm always like, I'm so happy that happened. Like that was such a fun
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. I feel exactly the same way.
But all right, so kind of segueing into like I do have some of these questions here. So I guess this first question, this is technically not the first, the second question. Whatever, semantics. What would you say has been your most favorite video that you've made out of TikTok, YouTube? If you had to pick one,
Oh
what would you say
man,
is your all-time favorite?
I didn't even consider the TikTok videos. Um,
So,
I mean, obviously there's Pluto is mom,
mm-hmm.
because I got to be a little shitter, and and just make a silly little crackpot theory that thankfully most people enjoyed. I mentioned earlier in our other conversation that there's been a couple people who were none too happy that I wasted a whole 6 minutes of their life. But aside from that, the Kingdom Hearts 3 mods video was also fun from start to finish. Just because of like it was a group project I did, and genuinely I didn't know just how insane it was going to be. I severely underestimated uh Key and Dallin and Neosai about like what all they'd throw in there. And it was just fun from start to finish. Even in the
Mhm.
when I was editing it, I was laughing for like most of it, and that's why it took so long for that video to come out. But yeah,
Th-
um, probably one of those two. There is one TikTok video that I think about sometimes, that it's
Ooh.
the excuse me, it's the basically everyone's first time with Kingdom Hearts series I
Mm,
did. And that was one of the first TikTok videos where I like blew up, and I was like, yo, hold up, wait a minute, let's put some stock in this.
right.
um and I think about that one a lot, and I'm not setting this in stone, but I do have the desire to go back and revisit that and recreate it for YouTube.
I was gonna say that would be a great idea. 'Cause didn't you say you were planning to do? I'm trying to remember where you left because you started doing more to other games, right? Because it wasn't just Kingdom Hearts 1,
I
right? Or were you just thinking about
it,
doing
it was
more?
it was I was thinking about doing more, and the
Mm-hmm.
plan initially was to do more. But then like life happened, and I
Okay.
got too distracted with other things, and then I couldn't find any creative inspiration to revisit it and come back to it. What's funny is I was one part away from it being done completely,
Really?
and I just couldn't think of anything at the time, so it just kind of stopped.
Was that for so because you went through I'm trying to remember the entire series because you finished Kingdom Hearts 1, right?
No, no.
Oh,
There
you
was
didn't?
one more I had to do for Kingdom Hearts 1. The
Mm.
last bit, the last joke in uh that series was, wait, did we just trap Mickey Mouse in hell? And, after that was, I was gonna do a thing of like, okay, there's, Sora reaching out to Kyrie, and then the ending thing plays, and I was like, well, how do I make that into like a funny haha
Mhm.
that lasts longer than like 10 seconds. So I was like, well, maybe it should only last 10 seconds, but then like people aren't going to get it if they're just seeing it on the For You page for the first time.
Mhm.
And I struggled with with that for a little bit. But now that I have found more enjoyment in long form content and being somewhat successful here, on the YouTube space, um, I feel like I could like this would be a good opportunity to maybe bring that back and rework some of the jokes that I think didn't really land as well as I wanted them to. Maybe rewrite a couple of parts. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see what happens with it.
yeah. I mean, I would totally be down to see what
Hmm.
you cook up with, especially now that you've let it like marinate for some time now, and you can go back and kind of make your um, HD 1.5 remix version of it,
Hmm.
and make it even better
Yeah,
on
and
YouTube.
I think now that my audience is kind of used to my sense of humor in my videos, I feel like there's a lot more of my personality I can bleed into the project.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of doing it on top of like other projects that I want to work on. So
Right.
who knows? It might be in the cards, it might not be, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something I would consider going back to. So anyway, long-winded answer is I like the mods video, I like the Pluto is mom video, and I like the basically everyone's first time with Kingdom Hearts video when I was doing TikTok.
I feel like I still have to say my favorite video of yours is the Koopa one where
Yep,
you're
I
like
knew it was
dancing.
coming.
Yeah, I think it honestly has stood the test of time. Where I'm just like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
for those who don't know, there's a video of me just throwing ass for a keyblade. I wonder if that one got muted. Because a
oh
lot of my videos
yeah.
ended up getting muted once
See,
the contract fell through with whatever it was like a record label or like a music
yeah, it
industry
was I
thing.
think
I don't know.
Universal Music Group, UMG.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's another thing
yeah,
about posting on TikTok too, and it's so unfortunate because like we have a lot of our friends who make stuff on TikTok, and they're like 80% of their library is just no audio, and
yeah.
it's like it
What
sucks.
one of my most popular series on there was there's three different kinds of people at Disney World.
Yeah, yeah, I remember
All of
because
those videos are muted.
I went back to watch one of them and no audio, and it was like no, and it
Yep,
sucks
they're all
too
gone.
because like I wish there. I mean, I don't know if TikTok could ever implement like an AI system where they just remove the audio and keep the or remove the music but keep the vocal audio. I do
Yeah.
I do hope at some point that they renegotiate that contract and all those audios can be unmuted because I don't think that they're deleted. They're definitely just sort of restricted. I think once that like restriction is lifted, everything will go back to the way it was. But it's crazy that they haven't like patched things up by now. Um,
Hmm. Yeah.
but yeah,
The only one that kind of fully exists out in the ether right now, as far as I am aware, is the
mhm.
very first one that I did of that series. And it exists on I believe the YouTuber is called Narrator, one of his side channels where he's reacting to TikToks.
Mm.
Because he reacted to mine on there. And I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. Like I didn't expect to appear on someone's fucking YouTube channel. But so that version exists there. I know for sure. I don't know that any other version of it exists anywhere. But if anyone knows, if any of those still exist out there, hit me up because I'd love to see them again.
Did you not when it came to making TikToks, did you just sort of make them in the app and you never had them like saved on your computer and then you brought over to TikTok
It
or
depended on what the project was. I did a
mhm,
couple of uh TikToks where um I went like pretty cinematic with it.
mhm,
There was the one I remember most is the one where at the time there was this quote unquote TikTok war between the Vanta Lord and I'm forgetting his name, but it was some dude with really fluffy hair. And it was like the council versus the rogues or whatever, and it was a fun little thing. And I was like, ooh, what if we did that with like uh Kingdom Hearts? Or no, I'm sorry, I had thought about what if we did that with Kingdom Hearts, and then someone else made a video being like, hey, this thing's going on. What if we did that with Kingdom Hearts? And I was like, I could respond to this video and like make something with it, and I
mhm.
ended up doing something more cinematic and dramatic with it from what I normally post or what I was normally posting there. Um, and so for that style of video, I actually busted out the camera, saved everything on SD cards, brought it into Premiere,
Mm-hmm.
did all that stuff, and I could probably find the file somewhere on one of these hard drives. Um, so that project exists somewhere. Um, but for the most part, I was kind of working in the app, um, and doing stuff like that because a lot of the content I was making at the time was like trying to follow a trend, but like make it Kingdom Hearts because weirdly not a lot of people were doing it at the time. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll fucking do it, whatever. Um, and I was able to, you know, garner my following that way. Um, so yeah, a lot of it is kind of you know, lost to time if it's muted.
That's unfortunate. It really is. Because
Hmm.
there's so many good classics on there. And I'm even just thinking back to some of the like, because I 100% like your style of like doing trends but Kingdom Hearts version was like always something I look forward to whenever it would like show up on my For You page. There was, or even just like you would put like a spin on it. Like there was one time I watched one of your videos. It was somebody's like, "What if I just like stole your heart and then you stitched it with you holding the
Yep.
keyblade?" Just be
Yep.
like, "No, what we're gonna do now? You're gonna back up,
Real slow like, and no
right?"
one has to get hurt. Yeah,
Because
that's actually one of the more popular videos. I think that one's actually pinned on my page.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that one is still up.
I've been meaning to ask you about this, but that video you made where those people are throwing a rock down the well and it hits Goofy in the head, it
Hmm.
cuts to Goofy getting hit in the head. Like I saw that did like pretty big numbers. Like
It was my it was my first video that hit 1 million views.
what was your thought? Hold on, there's a spider on the wall. I gotta kill it.
Kill it with a rock. Make it
Ugh.
thematic.
In the name of Goofy. Um,
Somebody come quick.
But what was I was always curious to ask your opinion on it. Like when that blew up, like did you expect it to blow up? Like what was your thought like when that happened? Were you just kind of like, of course this is the one that like ends up getting
Oh,
like
I was
a
pissed. I
were
was
you?
pissed. I was like,
Okay.
yeah, because I was like, I made it as a joke, and I was like, I know it will probably do like pretty well. Like it'll probably get like 10K views or whatever. And then like my phone started blowing up throughout the day, and I was like, of course the one that I thought of and edited while I was taking a shit is the one that fucking. Never mind the ones I actually put effort into. Fuck those things. But no, just that one is the one that does numbers.
Yeah.
Hell, my most viewed TikTok actually is me reacting to the piranha plant level in Super Mario Wonder
Oh
because
really?
I yes, it has over 3 million views. And I posted it I think like the morning after it came out or something because I went and picked it up for like a midnight release, although it wasn't midnight, it was like 9 p.m. or something.
Hmm.
And I ended up playing it until about 2 a.m. And I was like, I know people like I was scrolling through TikTok the morning after and I saw people were reacting to it. So I was like, okay, I'll post my reaction to it. And when I reacted to it, I was like, yo, this is game of the year because it was 2 a.m. and it was something stupid and cute. So of course I'm gonna say it's game of the year because I'm just having fun with it. And in the actual video, I put text on screen. I say, this is game of the year. And the reason it got so popular was because A, everyone was reacting to the Piranha Plant level.
Hmm.
B, everyone was going to the comments and saying, "You think Mario's game of the year is gonna be Baldur's
Oh
Gate 3? It's gonna be
God.
Spider-Man." Blah blah blah. And I was like, I attract the wrong kind of crowd. like, like y'all need to know that I'm like, it was 2 a.m. when I did this, and I was just like, I'm running on like happy copium fumes of like of, of like this shit's cute, it's adorable, I'm enjoying myself. So yeah, it was a whole thing. I didn't actually think it was game of the year. I was just
Hmm.
having a blast playing something stupid and silly.
Yeah, I mean, but even if you were to say it, I mean, I think anybody who went nutso in the comments being like, "You actually think this is game of the year?" It's like, but fucking people say that all the time. People say that everything is game of the year, the greatest, or it's the fucking
Yeah,
goat. It's like
and
it's just an expression. It's not to be taken seriously.
yeah, and I don't know. Game Awards were pretty heated that year, so maybe that had
Mm.
something to do with it. But yeah, so all the videos of mine that are like super popular are the ones that I put no effort in, and not the ones I wanted to succeed.
There's
Um, there's another video I have where I mashed up the Pokemon Black and White low health theme
yes.
with the alarm noise when you have low health in Kingdom Hearts.
Mhm.
And originally, I had made that audio for a YouTube video, which was the Kingdom Hearts Nuzlocke video. So I
Mhm.
was like, it makes sense to just mash the Kingdom Hearts audio and the Pokemon audio together for this part of the scene, or this particular part of the story where things are kind of tense. And I was like, well, I know people will have fun using this as an audio, so I might as well upload it to TikTok anyway. And I did that, and I did a thing where it was a slow zoom in on my face, and I said I made the most cursed or the most anxiety inducing mashup, and uh, you know, I got a lot of people saying like, "Oh, this is like perfect," or some people were like, "Oh, I'm jamming out to this." I also got a lot of people saying this isn't the Sonic drowning noise. So if you're a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, go fuck yourself.
Oh no,
Not
this
actually, not actually,
Sonic
but
fan getting a random
I did
right
I
hook
did
there.
have a bit for a while where whenever someone commented that, I would reply with "What the hell is Sonic?" and and I tried to keep that bit up for as long as I could. Um, so yeah, I don't hate Sonic for that reason. Um, I don't hate Sonic at all. I just just not a game I normally play.
Yeah, I've wanted to get into the Sonic series, but that's a whole different. I've got so much. I've got all this One Piece. I got so much One Piece in my hands. But eventually, I plan to like. I there's so many things I want to get into. Like, um, I know you're not the biggest fan, but I do want to read like the Marvel comics, just because I'm just curious about like the story, um, of the Marvel just universe in general, and
Yeah,
just that
I
how they are.
for full clarity, I have nothing against Marvel comics or anything. I just don't
Mhm.
like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
I would.
I'm a proud hater of the MCU.
Yeah, because like part of me wants to like. I feel like I'm not getting the full story of just watching the movies, and I'm like, I want to start reading the comics, and I'm like, well, where's a good point to like start? Like, where's the Ultimania when it comes to like the comics stuff? And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just sit down and I'll just read them all. I'll just
hmm
find an app that has them all and just like um just do it that way. There's what else? There was like a few other things where I'm like, if it's gonna take me, oh, Pokemon. I want to watch all the episodes of Pokemon. Anything that's
Now
gonna
that's
take
a
me,
fucking commitment.
yeah, anything that's gonna take me like years to complete, I just want to do it because I think just hearing people say, even with like One Piece, for the longest time, they were like, oh, I could never watch One Piece. It's too long, and I'm like,
hmm
it makes me kind of want to watch it because so many people don't want to watch it because of how daunting it is. And it's the same thing with
Yeah,
Kingdom
you just want
Hearts.
the nerd credit.
Yeah. And the same thing with like Kingdom Hearts 2. It's like so many people are like, oh, I want to get into Kingdom Hearts, but it's like it's so daunting. And I'm like, I think that's kind of where it stems from. The fact that I've been able to like follow Kingdom Hearts, even with like the MCU. I've watched every single movie when it came out. Well, there was a point where I kind of wandered off, but I've been pretty consistent. I've watched them all. The only thing I've not been consistent on is the Disney Plus series because I ain't trying to pay Disney Plus every time I need to like watch a new series. I'm gonna wait till like five of them are out and then just like binge them all on like a sick day.
hmm
But but yeah, the tangent is how do we even deviate from this? I don't know. It's just this the natural style because we're talking about your TikTok videos. Um,
Yeah, that is what we were talking about.
yeah, but yeah, so it's curious to hear your opinion on the Goofy Rock video because that's literally something that I wanted to ask you for the longest time just to get your like your thoughts on it because I know you put a lot of effort and time in like so much of your content, and just to see this random like mashup of just like two clips pop off, I'm just like, huh.
Yep. No, that one
So,
was probably my most low effort video I've ever made,
mhm.
and it popped off. I was like, well, all right.
But it's also surprising hearing the Mario one popped off the way it did because that was like recent. Like not Mario Maker. Mario Wonder has not been out for that long, and for it to be like you said it's your most viewed. Like
Yep.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, I can pull up the number right now.
The fact that you are the Kingdom Hearts TikTok funny guy and your top videos are, well, I guess the Rock video is still Kingdom Hearts related, but it's, I mean, at least there's that. Yeah, the Mario one is just kind of like ironic that you end up getting like your most viewed TikTok as a Mario when it's like the rest of your content is all Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. I mean
I,
that's showbiz, baby.
I think that's also one of the benefits of YouTube too, because it's like anything we post on YouTube, I guess we don't really shit post as much, or if we do, it's always within the realm of like the topic. So it's like we tend to garner more of an audience and those people to come and watch our stuff because it's like, oh, hey, look, funny Kingdom Hearts stuff. I like funny Kingdom Hearts stuff. Instead on TikTok, you're just kind of like, you have more of a inclination to like, I'm just gonna post the shit post. Like 100 people are gonna watch it. I don't give a shit. And then it ends up
Hmm.
becoming like a notable like, this is you, and you can never like escape it.
Yeah.
Um,
I have some I have some opinions on the contrast between YouTube and TikTok, but we can get to that when a more relevant question pops up.
I mean, if you want to get into it now, we can talk about it now.
Well, if we talk about it now when it's not relevant, we're not getting to the other questions. So let's
Oh,
let's try to get to the other questions. I think
I told
I'll
you,
be out
Dax.
for a while.
There's no structure here. I feel like with other people I might talk to, they might, because of the dynamic that we have, that we can just move all over the place. Other people might
Mhm.
be more so like, yeah, I'll just like answer the question and then I'll wait for the next question, and I'm just like, I know that's not gonna happen here. We're gonna
Yeah, I
something we're
I'm
gonna get to
I'm doing
question.
my best for the sake of the audience.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just like, I'm trying to at least like not go like try to dial it back before it goes too off the rails. I'm glad that one of us has the mindset though to kind of have some structure here. But
Yeah.
um I will say it's kind of like the last point on this specific topic is that the first time I ever found one of your videos was actually the you cutting off Donald's head and boiling it to
Yep.
see if there was a brain
Yep.
inside of the pop figure. And I did not know that that was you because at that time you looked very different than what you did when I officially like started talking to you which is I think it was like a year after. Like I think because I made stuff on TikTok and like a year after when I ran out of like clips to post, and then we started like hanging out more and whatnot. Visually, like I think you had more hair on is a beard and even like longer hair, and in that video you had shorter hair, and I don't think you had a
Yeah.
beard, and so it didn't click for me until I want to say like a year after that I was like, oh, that was Dax. Like I watched
Yeah.
a Dax video a long time
I
ago and
was
had
also
no
in a different
idea.
house at the time, so that
Mhm.
may have also aided in it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's possible. I
yeah,
just
but
Mhm.
that video was actually my most viewed for a long time. Um, I think it rested at like 600K or something.
and see like that to me would make the most sense for that to be your most viewed video because it shows your personality. It has your your
Mm.
main interest being Kingdom Hearts, and I don't know. I feel like something like that is where people can kind of like they'd be like, is there actually a brain? I'm kind of curious. And of course, you pick Donald out of all the
Yeah,
characters.
at the time, well, I picked Donald because he was the one I was willing to risk. But but at the time, the pop figures have brains thing was like a really big like trend on TikTok, and I was
Mm,
like, I'm kind of curious too. let's try something with it. And I was like, how do you take apart a pop figure? And I just tried doing everything in the book. Um, when I had finished that video and posted and everything, my roommate at the time came home and he was like, you know, you could have just shined a light through its head and saw it, right? I was like, damn it. That would have been so much easier. But it
Yeah,
wouldn't
well,
have gotten the views. It wouldn't have
yeah.
shown my personality. I think more people watch that just to see if there was a brain in it,
Hmm.
rather than just the Kingdom Hearts aspect of it.
Yeah, but I mean, you still got people to like. I'm sure people were like, "Hell yeah, Donald, fuck him up!" Like, he's not
Oh yeah,
healing
for
me.
sure.
It's like good luck trying to heal yourself out of this mess.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, no, I mean, but I think honestly that's how I came across it, just because TikTok was sort of like, "Hey, you like Kingdom Hearts? Here's this guy that makes a Kingdom Hearts video, and he's like fucking with the Kingdom Hearts pop." So I think that's how I got across my radar, and
Yeah,
then
and like,
beyond. Mhm.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was saying beyond that, I don't really even know like what else I got to like see from you. Like you would show up on my For You page a bunch. And I think eventually I just like I've seen enough videos from this guy. I'll just follow him. But yeah, that was just the first time I can specifically remember seeing you without knowing it was
Hmm.
you. But beyond that, I think the video series you were talking about, the everyone's first time playing Kingdom Hearts. I think I remember watching like a few of those, and I was just like, you know what, I gotta throw this guy a follow, and then
Yeah,
the rest has
I
been
I I knew
history.
if anything, I knew if anything that series in particular would more so garner the audience that I was targeting.
Mm-hmm.
And more people would follow me because, oh, he's funny. Oh, he also likes Kingdom Hearts. Oh, that's basically his entire premise on this app. Gotta follow.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, there definitely was. It's interesting because there were a lot of people who made Kingdom Hearts content, especially more so like around the time when we were starting off like on TikTok. I
Mhm.
don't feel like I see a lot nowadays, which is odd
Yeah,
because we kind of hit this like weird point where everyone was posting like there were a bunch of creators on TikTok and there hasn't really been anyone making a splash in the scene and I'm like maybe I'm not seeing it, but I'm just like it's weird how like cuz there's like 10 of us. We have like our own little like group um where we
mm,
sort of like got to know each other and it's just like we all started at the perfect time it seemed like I couldn't imagine trying to make the content I make now and then seeing everyone. I mean, I guess everyone is still like around, but just to think that we all showed up at like the perfect time,
yeah,
it's kind of
and like
interesting.
it's really interesting to think about, and I think it really does kind of boil down to um the relevancy of Kingdom Hearts. When I first joined TikTok, um, I only saw like a handful of creators, and TikTok in 2020 wildly different from TikTok
Mm-hmm.
now. Like it's so much different. Everyone was kind of like making their own little groups, and everyone was trying to find their place on whatever it is talk. Like we had Kingdom Hearts talk, book talk, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But Kingdom Hearts TikTok hadn't really hit off at that point, at least from my perspective. At the time, the biggest creators were DJ Balot and Oathkeeper.jpg,
Mm-hmm.
and I followed those two. My first ever Kingdom Hearts video actually is me being awkward as fuck holding a keyblade and like nodding my head and doing the stereotypical 2020 TikTok thing as a duet to one of Oath's videos where she was like, "What's your favorite keyblade? Who's blah 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 blah?" And I put text up on screen, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess technically that was my introduction to Kingdom Hearts TikTok. But um, at the time, I remember it being those two. I remember coming across like one or two videos of Ellie's Elliastic for the viewers at home.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that was about it. And those were really just the main people I followed. Um, and like some of them didn't really post that much. Some of them posted like every now and again, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to get in on this, and we'll do something there. And so I did a couple of different videos, just like trying to figure out what my sort of style was, and eventually that took off, and I got to meet the people I followed,
Mm-hmm.
which was completely insane. I was like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. And like I remember the day Oath followed me back. I was like, holy shit, what? Ain't no way. But I think everyone was just kind of thirsting for Kingdom Hearts uh
Mm-hmm.
sort of content on TikTok, and no one had really done it yet.
Yeah, I
Uh,
guess we kind of had a good spot because it was like a year after KH3 had like came out. And I think maybe just like the concept was sort of like brewing in a lot of people's minds. And then I think seeing everyone else posting content really like vitalized that idea in people. And I
yeah.
think we all kind of, even maybe if we don't even like really realize it, but kind of like secretly behind the scenes encourage each other to like post more and more. Cause we're like, oh well, Ellie posted a new video and Oath
Oh
posted a
yeah.
new
Yeah,
video, and then it's just
absolutely. It
like
was
I
it
want to
was
get involved.
yeah, it was absolutely a thing of like I would see like more people do so. I mean, uh fucking Kelly, Kelly
Oh
Nicole
yeah.
515 for the viewers at home. Um I remember she had mentioned that she really liked my TikToks. And um maybe there was like one or two that inspired her to try and post a couple more Kingdom Hearts TikToks, because I think she was already making them already,
Hmm.
but she would like maybe see one or two of mine and then do a little more. Um, I may also be misremembering that conversation, so please verify with her that this it was in fact the case. But the main thing I want to say about this though is that, you know, she said that she liked my TikToks, and I was like, well, I've seen your like Kingdom Hearts like quote unquote summaries where you're talking as Nomura, and like these sketches are fucking hilarious, and
Hmm.
it's my favorite at the time. It was currently my favorite Kingdom Hearts content on TikTok, so it was a back and forth of like there was a lot of people who definitely inspired me to try and think outside the box of my content and make better content. And then I think in some aspects, I hope at least one person, uh whoever you are or were or whatever, uh was inspired by me to try and make some sort of content that way.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know that I would have continued to do the type of content that I did post the clip, because like I started on TikTok posting clips, and I would post like hella clips because I can't do anything normal. I think we already established this, where it's like I can't just watch like a normal amount of episodes for a series. Like I have to go above and
Yeah.
beyond. And somebody just so it was it was like this uh TikTok that was going around, if somebody's like, "What's a video that lives in your head rent free?" And I stitched the Aqua Sing "Shut Up," and I would have never in a million years would have told you that that would have changed the whole entire trajectory of my entire content creating period, because that in itself um sparked the entire channel into like so many people's for you pages. It is currently standing. The compilation of everyone who's saying "shut up" is my number one most viewed video compilation on YouTube. Uh, I've gotten to the point now. I don't know if you've seen any of them, but I've started going up to like voice actors who do like the
I
characters in
have
Kingdom
seen them.
Hearts, and I've
I
just been
have seen
having
them.
them say "shut up" because it's like, well, people love to shut up. People love hearing Kingdom Hearts characters say "shut up," and so now I've like anytime I go to a con, I'm like, okay, Sid Highwind is here or Ansem is here. Like I gotta get him to tell me to say "shut up." And so far it's been like really fun getting to like talk to these people, especially like I couldn't, this is the one thing, and I'm so disappointed in myself for this, but I got to meet Sean Astin, who played Samwise
Samwise,
in
dude.
Lord of the Rings, and he was the first voice of Hercules in Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah.
And we had an entire conversation when I met him, and he was like, "Yeah, so they couldn't get the original voice actor to show up, and they asked me if I could just fill in." And I was like, "Sure." And so he went ahead and he did it. And so now he was like the first Hercules. And I had no idea because I had never seen Lord of the Rings until like last year. Recently, I've seen it, but to to think that he was this like big notable person outside, because I only know him as as Hercules. I know him now as Samwise because I've seen the first Lord of the Rings. But like I went up to him and I was like talking to him about Kingdom Hearts, and he seemed really like jazzed about it. And I asked him, I was like, "Hey, so I do this thing on online where I asked the voice actors to say shut up. Can I get like a video of you saying shut up in the Hercules voice?" He's like, "But that was so long ago. I'd have to hear a video of it and then I could for sure do the voice for you." And I was like, "Oh hell yeah, this is gonna be amazing." And then he's like, "Well, he was signing people in like line and all that stuff." So I was like, "All right, I'll just like wait till like the line dies down and I'm gonna come back." So I like went to go use the bathroom. And when I came back, he was gone.
Ah.
And I was like, "No." But he was so adamant. He was like, "If you find me again, I will 100% record this video for you." And so now I'm on the hunt to get Sean Astin to yell "shut up" at me in the Hercules voice.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I missed out on that one. And then what was it? I got to meet Hayden Panettiere, but I
Really?
couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't get. They weren't doing videos, so I couldn't get them to yell "shut up" to me as Kyrie, which is like,
What were they doing? Were they just like
oh,
what were they?
it was at a
Because
con. It
yeah,
was
but
in
like
a
what was like the thing that they did that they were at the con for? Like in because like the last thing I knew Hayden Panettiere was in Until Dawn.
um. I think they were just there as like a special guest. Like I think I don't really know the whole backstory of how get cons show up or how cons get people to show up. I'm assuming they must have like
Well, it's not even my thing is like I can't really remember anything that Hayden Panettiere has been in that's been like an outstanding like sort of nerd geek culture
mhm.
thing that people would want to go out of their way to buy tickets to meet this person.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
kind of
maybe that's just my lack of knowledge on Hayden Panettiere, but
Yeah, no, I
um,
mean, I'm in the same boat too because beyond her being like the old voice of Kyrie, and she on that one time in Dream Drop Distance, somehow they decided to put her as the voice actor for Shion. Um, yeah, I don't know what her resume is, but I think it was honestly just one of those things that people. I guess maybe she might have had like a history with this con, and so they keep asking her to come back, and she comes back. It was the Steel City Con in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, and I drove to go. I'm like, I drove my ass to go. I'm like, what? I don't know when's the next opportunity I'm gonna see Hayden Panettiere again. So
yeah,
I drove and I got her autograph, and then I was gonna ask her to say, shut up, but then the person who was like handling everything before you get into line was like, "Oh, we don't do videos," and yeah, I missed out on that one. But I got Fred Tassacor, which was at the Cleveland Fan Expo. So, but he fucking nailed that. I told him I was like, "Hey, so this is what I do. Can you do this?" And he's like, "Okay." And he literally just took the phone for 40 seconds and just like went with it. And I was like, I could have not asked for a better take. Like he knocked it out of the park.
that's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah, it's been fun and getting to talk to them is really great too. Um, but yeah, I don't know when it comes to like I wish I had a better answer for you for the Hayden Panettiere thing because, like I said, I don't know most of their body of work as well as like everybody. To be honest, like most of these people are like Sean Astin is like he was in the Goonies. I didn't even know he was in the Goonies. It's like he's
Yeah,
known for so many things, and I'm like, you did Hercules in
that see
2000. That's
this
all I
reminds me
know.
of when we were recording your Wackadoodle Kingdom Hearts quiz,
Mhm.
and you mentioned like that Leonard Nimoy for Xehanort and not
Yeah.
Spock, and I'm just like, when you like that's the first thing you think of, and I'm like, how do you not think of Spock? The thing that Leonard Nimoy, I've never even seen Star Trek, and I know that he's Spock. Like that's Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know now, but it was just one of those things that like it's not the first thing that pops in my head. I'm like, that's Xehanort. Like I'll hear the voice and I'm like, that's Xehanort. And like, really? That's like the first one. And the same thing with like Christopher Lee. There's yeah, I don't know. And, like Mark Hamill, I would honestly be like, I know him more as like Ericus than Luke Skywalker because I've only ever seen one Star Wars movie, and it was where he shows up at the very end as like an old man. So he wasn't even in the movie for
Episode
long.
7?
Yeah, that was the only one I've seen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and
That's
so
crazy.
I don't even think Mark Hamill had a speaking role in that. So, but if I had heard Mark Hamill's voice, I'd be like, "That's Ericus." But like when everybody
Oh my
says Mark
god.
Hamill, I'm like, "Yeah, I know him. I
Well,
know
well,
he's Luke, but really
he's
bigger
also the
picture."
Joker.
Well, I don't watch anything DC, so I don't know anything. I mean,
Okay.
I've played the Mortal Kombat versus DC game. That's about my extent. Oh, I did watch the Static Shock show, but obviously the Joker wasn't in the Static Shock show. Yeah, no, I missed out on a lot of things Joker related. But yeah, because you even mentioned that too in the trivia video that he's like he's the Joker baby, and I'm just like
The Joker,
I
baby.
could see that. Like I could definitely see because I didn't even know that Richard Epcar also did the Joker as well. I think he did the Joker in that game, the Mortal Kombat versus DCU, and I had no idea. I was just like, damn,
Well,
the
I think
handsome.
Richard Epcar is also Raiden from Mortal
Hmm.
Kombat, I believe. But I mostly know him as um Old Man Joseph in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, that's always an interesting thing too when you go up to the voice actors tables and they have pictures that you can have them sign of all their characters, and uh
Yep.
you there's so many new things that you find out that you're like, "Oh, I didn't know you were in this and I didn't know you were
Yeah.
in that."
Yeah.
What was it?
Another fun little fact.
Mhm.
I share a birthday with Richard Epcar.
Oh.
Yeah. I also share a birthday with Steve Bloom. Those are my two celebrity twins.
I see Steve Bloom always show up a lot on the list for the guests, but I don't know if I've seen anything or because
Cowboy
he's a voice.
Bebop,
I've not seen Cowboy Bebop.
the robot from Toonami.
Oh yeah, Steve. Steve. No,
There you go.
Tom. Tom is his name, not
There you
Steve.
go.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, Tom's cool. I know Tom.
He was also oh, no, I'm thinking of Mark Hamill
Hmm.
for Fire Lord Ozai. Um hold on, now I'm blanking on Steve Bloom's whole thing. Whatever, I'll look into it later.
Yeah, but that tends to be like the thing with a lot of voice actors where they do that one thing that's like very minor, and I'm just like, yeah, I know that one. Oh, when I met David Vincent, he does the voice of Duval from One Piece, but he's got way bigger roles than Duval, but he had a Duval print, and I was just like, "Bro, that is amazing. I don't even watch One Piece in English, and I need your autograph right now." Uh, I think his biggest role was in Demon Slayer.
Who's he playing Demon Slayer?
Uh, oh, I'm sorry, not Demon Slayer. It's Jujutsu no Kaisen. He's Kento, but he's also Gilgamesh in Fate, and he's Grimjaw in Bleach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he definitely has way bigger roles than Duval.
Yeah.
But I know him. Well, to be honest, I just know Duval, and I just saw the poster, and I like was like talking to him about it too, because he was even like surprised. He's like, yeah, most people would be here for like Fate or Bleach, um, or I think he also did Robin, like Batman Robin. I think was also one
Hmm.
of his roles as well. So, but just the fact that I was just some random guy just showed up because I was really in line with a friend And I saw the print, and that's where I got like excited, and I started talking to him about it. And he was like, "Yeah, like nobody ever really mentions the One Piece role," but he's like, he seemed to be pretty happy that I was like happy that he was Duval, and that I was like freaking out about the print, because the print is like such a Duval print. Have you seen it by chance?
No, I haven't.
Uh, I
I
just
haven't.
see.
I haven't seen that specific. I've seen One Piece, obviously.
Mhm.
I haven't seen that print you're referring to.
Uh, I can pull it up real quick. But yeah, that's the thing. I definitely would recommend if anybody hasn't like, if because that the longest time I've never really cared about seeing voice actors. I'm just kind of like, oh, it's an option at cons, but it's whatever. But ever since I started doing it, Richard Epcar was the first one I did. I met up with, and it's just been like it's a whole different experience that I can't explain to you until you go out and do it yourself, and then you kind of start to get it. It's kind of like watching One Piece. Like you don't get it until you start investing into it, and then you're just kind of like, okay, I see this. Like
Mm,
this is what all the hubbub is about.
that is
But
a
yeah,
very Duval.
yeah, exactly.
Duval print.
And you'd had to imagine that his team had to sit there and make that, because this isn't something
Yeah.
that like the company sent him. It's just like he literally photoshopped this, or whoever he got to photoshop this, and he's like, I'm gonna have this on my table, and I'm gonna sign it if anybody wants it. And I'm just like, this I am the demographic for this. I am so happy to be here. I didn't even plan to be
You are the
here. Like
one person in the demographic.
exactly. Yeah, I'm sure like he had a stack of them, and I could guarantee I would not be surprised if I was the only one that walked away with the Duval a print. But no, yeah, it's fun. It's a great time. And I'm hoping for more videos to come out with more voice actors to yell at me, say shut up. I don't even know if people enjoy them. I assume they do, but I have fun just asking them and talking to them. So they're gonna keep on coming.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
I will look forward to it.
well, great. I'll make them specifically for you. And
Yes.
if I ever meet Tara Strong, I'll make sure to tell her to tell you to shut up as a tater.
Oh God.
Cause
I was like, why Tara Strong? Like that's
yeah,
very specific.
well, she did the voice for Riku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm caught up now. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Tara Strong. I'm like, Bubbles, Twilight Sparkle, fucking Harley Quinn. Like, no, fucking Riku Kingdom Hearts. Not actually Riku Kingdom Hearts. Yeah.
Exactly. That's honestly like I
Yeah, the audience just saw that happen live, like in action.
I it does I hope that like every voice actor in a way kind of gets like a little bit of like a surprise sort of aspect when I ask them about Kingdom Hearts, because they're just like, bruh, you could be here for anybody, for anything, any character, and you're here for KH2 Riku, not actual Riku, but the little chibi one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I and then what was it, dude? Jesse McCartney's on tour right now, and
Is he actually?
yeah, and I was gonna buy a ticket to see if I could like get his autograph, but you have to pay for VIP, and it's like $500. And
Yeah, that's not worth.
I'm like, can I? I don't have enough pull online to just like get him to like get an autograph. I'm like, how Google, how do I get Jesse McCartney to autograph and tell him to tell me to shut up as Roxas? Although I don't know if I would. I guess I would have to, because he is Roxas is like the king of shut up when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. So it's like I would have to get Jesse McCartney to tell me to shut up. Like
If
that's that's
if
endgame. That is endgame right there.
if I were to do something like that, instead of shut up, I would just bring a bust up laptop and I would have him beat the shit out of it.
Oh
I'd be like,
my!
I have an official Roxas smashed computer.
All right,
It'll be passed down through generations.
there's a new goal that you've instilled into me to make that happen. If I ever meet Jesse McCartney, no autograph, no shut up. Just, hey, can you break this? Here's the keyblade. No, could you imagine? Oh my god, okay. There are certain things that I know if it were to happen, the Kingdom Hearts fandom would break. For one,
That's one of them.
that is for sure one of them. Another one is if we could somehow get Allison Stoner to voice the line of Roxas that is a stick, that would go.
Yes. Oh my
That would be
god.
crazy. There's so many things that I'm just like I'm gonna become notable so I could just get this, make this
Dude,
happen and put it out into the world.
dude, do you know that trend that's going around right now where it's like, I'm a voice actor, and then they
Hmm.
do voice. I came across Alison Stoner's version of that, and
Yeah, I saw that.
she
Yeah.
did Shion's, and it's just like a half a second grunt, and I'm like, bro, like, come on, you could have done Kyrie, whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, what question were we on?
Uh, Definitely not. I'm sure we've probably answered like a good amount of these questions. Uh, but from my understanding, I don't think we've made it past question two.
Awesome, that sounds
But
right for us.
I mean, it's only been an hour, you know. Um, all right. Well, I guess on that, we'll go to the next one, which is what made you want to start making content? I feel like we kind of touched this a little bit, but
I mean, there's a couple more
mhm.
layers to it.
Yeah, I'll say if you want to go ahead and
So
answer it.
yeah, so as a kid, I always really liked YouTube. I absorbed myself into the YouTube space. Um, and it was right around the time that YouTube was first like really starting up. So I
Hmm.
remember watching stuff like Fred, Annoying Orange, Early
Yes.
Smosh, stuff like that, and
Hmm.
being like pretty into it. Um, and later on, I'd find more people to follow, and I got really into Game Grumps and SourceFed, which not many
Hmm.
people know about SourceFed nowadays.
Yeah, no, I know I'm fully aware because I still watch Philip DeFranco to this day. And then when they
Yeah,
announced SourceFed and Joe Beretta, I used to watch his YouTube channel, Brats and Beretta. So I knew him from that. And then when he got on SourceFed, I was just like, oh my god, it's
yeah,
him. I used to watch his stuff all the time.
yeah. So I really latched on to those two channels in particular, and I always was kind of like, it'd be kind of fun to like do something like this one day. Like I like the dynamics that they all have, and just being able to make stuff. And that was kind of on the rise of like, oh, people who make YouTube videos sometimes they make money.
Hmm.
Um, and so I did my little shithead thing of making videos and blatantly copying other people. I blatantly copied Tobuscus as a cringy middle schooler doing vlogs and whatever. Those do not exist anymore, thank God. But yeah, so I've always kind of just been fascinated with it, and then when when I got into high school and I was kind of closing in toward like my senior year, my mom was like, "What do you want to do with your life?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know." Um, and like, "Well, you're gonna go to college," and I was like, "I don't really want to." Um, I'll do film school, I guess, and maybe edit for people's YouTube videos. And my mom was all for it because she absolutely loves movies, and she was like, "Oh my god, you'll go make movies," and I was like, "That's what you think." And uh, so yeah, that sort of kicked that off, and I did my 4 years of film school, got on set uh after I got my degree, hated it, realized I wasted 4 years of my life, and
Mhm.
it was like, well, what do I do now? But then TikTok happened, and I started making some videos there, and then that kind of gained some traction, and then I was like, well, you know what? Let's see where this leads, and it's led me to here.
What a journey. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy because it's very similar. Like a lot of what you were mentioning was how I kind of got my start as well because I started paying attention to YouTube around the same time, and then we watched a lot of the same people. Uh, was something on my mind, but kind of lost it there for a second. Uh, duh, 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 duh. Fuck. I had something. I fucking just lost it. Um,
Is it over there?
I don't know. I don't see it.
Did you check under the cushion?
It's not there.
Ah, shit.
Oh, there was something you said, and it was like, I had something to say on it, but I totally forgot. But, it's definitely, oh my god. Oh, I remember. It was in relation to the comment that you said your mom was saying about you being on movie sets. I used to
Hmm.
get, you're gonna record wedding videos when I told people that I was gonna go into like
Yeah.
film, and I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. And like trying to
Yep.
convey to people that you want to make like online content, well, until YouTube, because when we first, since we started around the same time, or at least mentally were like interested in it, it was like not a career choice. And it wasn't
Yeah.
until post Vine, I think Vine really like segued a lot of people into thinking like, oh, this is like viable, and like YouTubers were becoming a thing, and then it kind of just blew up from there, because then
I
there's
think
the PewDiePies, the Markipliers
yeah,
at that
I was
point.
gonna say I think the biggest turning point was PewDiePie and just how
Hmm.
successful he was. Um, or well, I guess is,
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, it's insane.
yeah. And uh I honestly like, there is like a bit of a charm when it came to like old school YouTube, because there was sort of there really was no expectations. It was just kind of people just doing stuff for fun. And the kind of like not really getting paid for it was never really anything that bothered me, because I was always like, this seems like a fun time. Like I really want to get into this. And I did, in the same realm as you, make YouTube videos, and I posted them out, and they're like nothing comparison to like what I haven't done anything Kingdom Hearts before in the past. It wasn't until TikTok when I started to do like Kingdom Hearts stuff. Um, I wanted to get on Vine, but I couldn't ever find a footing with Vine. But I consumed Vine so much. I was early to YouTube, Vine, and then when TikTok came around, I was like, I want to do TikTok. I don't know what I want to make TikToks of, and I posted things here and there. But it wasn't until I was working at like this job that I had been like really aiming for. I thought it was going to be like my ended, like the job that I work until like I retire. Like I thought this was going to be a great company to work for, and then ended up stuck in butts. And then I was like, I need to go back to my roots and like dive back into this dream I had of wanting to be a YouTuber and
Hmm.
making content, because it's like I think throughout the years I've alternated what I've wanted to do, because like I wanted to be a graphic designer at one point, um, and then that was like a pretty big thing graduating high school, and from there, the YouTube dream was always like, I'm gonna put that on the side, and I'll get around to it eventually, like when I have more free time, and I have like a better concept of what I want to do. And then being thrust in this scenario of like, I feel like I don't know where I'm gonna go from here, and then pick up TikTok. Or I started off making YouTube videos, and I was like, well, TikTok's popping, so I'll post some things on TikTok, and then the rest is history from that point. Make
Hmm.
put a video of Kakwa saying "shut up," and then the rest has just been nothing but ups from here on out. YouTube's been good, Instagram's been good, and um, but yeah, it really, I feel like that's another thing that we kind of, how we became such good friends, is because we must have had that like same mentality when we saw each other's content, and we're like, this is a this is a guy that knows. Like this is a person that has like that content creator mindset. And that's honestly like a lot of our conversations is about content creation. And I think honestly the most like impressive, not to say that you don't say a lot of impressive things, but like there was one thing that You said
Yeah,
that
Dax, you
got
actually
me.
suck. Like,
There was one thing you told me that you said you started reading up on a bunch of books about like I don't remember the specific topic, but it was related about content creation. And I was like, "Damn. Like you're really like serious about this. Like you're going full force with like
I don't think I read any books. I was
did you
just listening to a lot of like
oh
creator podcasts and uh things of the like, and like maybe reading a couple of articles or something.
mm,
Um, the videos where like YouTubers I follow are like, here's how I make a video, and it's just
mhm.
like a one-off, like kind of like couple hour long live stream of their premiere project. I'm like, ooh, yeah, that's that good stuff. That's what I would do. Um, there's also a couple of Mr. Beast interviews that I looked into that really kind of fueled that fire
Mhm.
uh for a while. But yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, definitely I could tell that you had that drive. You had that dog in you for the for that content creation, and I was just like, hell yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've ever met. I don't think of anybody else when it comes to content creation that they've. Then again, I guess I don't really know. I haven't really. Well, I'll have to ask them the next time I talk to
Yeah.
somebody to see where they get their start from.
I think everyone's got a drive. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like what currently motivates them, and like what they like what do they do
Hmm.
to pursue that motivation.
Yeah. I mean, it is always cool just to know that there are people that I can talk to that's like they remember that certain era of YouTube. Because like the mummy said source fed, I was like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I
I
don't
still
know
have my
any
SourceFed shirt.
really.
Yeah, you know another thing too, you know another
Mm.
thing, and it's actually kind of relevant. I still have my DeFranco 2024 shirt.
Oh
Do you
my
remember when
god.
he released those?
Yes, the Franco
Yeah.
2024. Oh my god. That's so
Yep.
funny even thinking about that now in the year of 2024. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. I've thought about like putting it on and being like, "Hey yo, Billy D, where's your name on the ballot, bro?" Like,
He probably gets that
just as
question.
like a fun little joke thing. Yeah, is so stupid, but
No,
yeah.
we had to make that happen when people like vote and they put like troll answers and to just put
Yeah,
Filthy Franco and make it
yeah,
a
Philly
thing.
D is gonna be my ride-in when when I go to the polls.
Oh
Oh god.
god.
All right. Next question.
Okay. Uh I think we've kind of touched on this next one, which was what is your most underrated video that you have in your library that you wish more people would see? Well, I guess we haven't really because you kind of talked about some series,
I
but I don't think you've talked about definitively like the
yeah.
one. But yeah, if you have
I
one,
yes, I do.
okay.
Actually I technically have two answers for this, although um one of them's for TikTok, one of them's for YouTube. Um for YouTube, it is my I've renamed it a million times, but it's my first attempt at a Kingdom Hearts speed run.
Hmm.
Um it's currently resting at 7.9K. I thought it would do a little bit more than that. That was a video where I I've done narratives in my videos before, but that was the one where I was like, man, I really want to try and like, you know, spin some sort of narrative with this, tell a story, because there is sort of like a hero's journey in it,
Hmm.
of sorts. Um, and you know, I'm not the best at storytelling or anything. Um, but I was like, you know, I know how to talk about what's going on. I know how to, or I think I know how to try to make it humorous, whatever. And you know, I put a lot into it. Um, and it just didn't hit the mark that I thought it would. So I think I'd like more people to view that one.
You so you said that you changed the title on it. Do you feel like you find success when you change the thumbnail and the title on videos? Do you see like another
It
push?
depends.
Mm,
It depends. You kind of have to play around with like A/B testing and all this other stuff. For that one in particular, I switched out the title and thumbnail a couple of times. And it just hasn't really done anything. So maybe it's just not a topic that people really care about currently. Although the one that I did find success with was my Nuzlocke video, because
Hmm.
let me tell you, if there's one video that I'm so proud of and I would never do it again, it was that Nuzlocke video, because I slaved away at that thing for about 2 months in post production, just trying to get it out there, make sure it was perfect. Spoiler alert: there's no such thing. Um, and I was like, oh man, like I'm so jazzed on this idea. Like no one's done a Nuzlocke in Kingdom Hearts before. I think this is gonna be like a hit video, whatever. And
Hmm.
then I posted it. It got 600 views. And I was like, fuck, that is not the number I wanted it to hit. Because I think before that, I had a video where I talked about like what could be the next Kingdom Hearts theme song, and it had like 30,000 views or
Yeah.
something. Um, at the time, and I was like, fuck. Well, I'm glad it's out there at least. And then I was like, well, maybe if I like change the thumbnail and the title, and maybe something will happen. I did that, then I changed it again, and then I changed it again, and I changed it again, and then finally I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna put Sora's death screen on there. I'm gonna slap my face on it. We're calling it a day. And it's just gonna sit there, and I'm gonna not stress about it anymore. And then when I made the Pluto as mom video, it blew up
Mm.
alongside it. I was like, oh, okay,
It is
cool.
interesting seeing your whole journey with your YouTube, because I remember when that music video, or not music, but the one about the songs, like what's going to be
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 4's next theme, and that was like your biggest video at the time, and I was just like, oh, that's really cool. You got really you got some good traction off that video. And now it's
Yeah.
like nobody would ever label you as the Kingdom Hearts 4 music
Yeah.
video guy. You
Yeah.
have like so many other titles. But it's
And what's funny about that one too um is that I guess that's technically my first theory video.
mhm,
Well, we'll add an asterisk, an addendum to the Pluto is mom video. But what was funny about that one is I was like, it was a similar situation of I should make a theory video. I don't want to. What's something I can talk about that isn't, Sora is the master of masters.
mhm,
And I was like, well, we can. I was really into Utada's music at the time. Like I went through their entire discography on Spotify, and I was like, you know what? What if I try to pick a song from this that would work as a theme song for Kingdom Hearts 4? And I did some research on it. I tried to look up translations for it, whatever. And when I put it out, I was like, what is the title gonna be? And
mhm.
I put it as um Kingdom Hearts 4's theme song already exists. And I was like, I know some people are gonna think that this is a news sort of video, and they're gonna click on it and they're gonna see it's more of a discussion based thing, and they're gonna go, "Oh, well, you just clickbaited us, whatever."
Mhm.
Um, but I tried to be upfront in the video and be like, "Yo, like here's what I think it could be," just not waste anyone's time with it. I had one commenter, yes, I do recognize you. Um, that not you, Brisk. I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
to whoever.
No, I'm a shit
And they
talker.
were,
I did it.
God damn it. Foiled again.
It was my alt.
Uh yeah, but someone was like, dude, this was clickbait. You're such a fucking loser, blah blah blah. And then they went to another video I had and they were like, nice clickbait on this video you
Oh
did.
my
And
god.
I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And like I did feel bad about clickbaiting to a degree, and then I was like, well, you kind of have to put a title out there that you that will garner people's attention. So it was a thing of like, all right, let's figure out how to get people to click on it, make it enticing but not clickbait. And that was
Mhm.
a lesson that I learned. And then someone was like, someone was actually constructive in the comments and was like, hey, this was a great video and I really liked it. I would suggest that you change the title to um, Kingdom Hearts 4's theme song may exist. And I was like, you know what? That is a good point, and that's what the title is now.
Mm.
But yeah, that one definitely gained the traction out of most of my videos, and I honestly that was in a period of time where I was like, oh, I gotta do everything Kingdom Hearts. I gotta like play the games for videos. I gotta keep up
Mm-hmm.
with the news for videos. I gotta report on stuff. I gotta do theories. Yada, yada. And I was like, eventually it mellowed out, and I'm like, all right, I'll do some gameplay videos, and then maybe I'll shit post every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, honestly, I much prefer your style of content because it's always such a unique experience. And on top of the fact that like I know you as like your personality and whatnot, and just like whatever you cook up, like even the every time I laugh, I'd like delete my save file and like start
Yep.
over. And like that was such like a fun thing to be a part of. Even just like other projects that we've been a part of. I mean, it's always just like I always one, appreciate being involved, and two, just hearing what you have to like come up with idea wise. And I'm like, this is great. Like I love this. Like this is such a
Hmm.
refreshing deviation from what's kind of deemed as the norm when it
Yeah.
comes to a lot of Kingdom Hearts content creating. And obviously, no shade on anybody who makes, content. Everyone's
Oh
doing
yeah.
their thing that
Yeah.
they enjoy, but I thrive for the people who take the concept and like put their own spin on it.
Yeah. And that was kind of my mindset going into YouTube and, further evolving it later
Mhm.
was I talk as if I'm like a veteran in the field. I've been at this for like 2 years on YouTube. But that was kind of my mindset of like, okay, there's not a lot of Kingdom Hearts content I consume, but I know there is a demand for it,
Mhm.
voice crack and everything. And I I was like, okay, well, what can I do? One of my professors in college, um, he said, write what you know,
Mhm.
and he was probably quoting someone else, but I'm attributing it to him because that was the first time I heard it. And I was like, well, what the fuck do I know? I was like, okay, I know Kingdom Hearts, so let's keep on with that. Um, and I was like, okay, there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts content out there that I don't consume because it's not really my style. Every now and again, I'll click on some of the videos and I'll be like, oh, that's kind of cool, whatever.
Mhm.
But what would be the type of content I would want from Kingdom Hearts? And I was thinking of a lot of the YouTubers that I currently follow who have millions and millions of views, of subscribers, and I was like, what if I just like kind of do some of the stuff they're doing, but make it Kingdom Hearts, and then add my own little twist into it and see what happens. And like it's been well received,
Mhm.
thankfully. So yeah, I'm glad I can provide that. I've had one or two other people tell me that my content is definitely different from the norm of
Mhm.
the current Kingdom Hearts YouTuber landscape. So I'm glad that I can provide that, and I have fun providing that also.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly like the fact that you can leave such an impact is the biggest thing. Because one, it's one beneficial for what you're doing, but two, the fact that you're willing to like that's where your mindset is, where you're not just like following trends and just sort of like, oh, this is like step 1 through 3 on how to make this, and this is what I'm gonna do without
Yeah.
any sort of
Well,
deviations.
well, to a degree, I am sort of following some trends, just not the ones in Kingdom Hearts. I'm just also applying Kingdom Hearts to it and being like,
Right,
eh,
yeah.
like what's happening here? Like the Nuzlocke video. People fucking love Pokemon Nuzlocks.
Hmm.
And I was like, I kind of want to do a Nuzlocke in Kingdom Hearts. That sounds like it'd be kind of fun. Um, and that's kind of how that happened. And then I found out no one had done it before, and I was like, how the fuck has no one done this before? Getting on that shit right now. And that's yeah, how it happened.
Yeah, I had another thought to add on to that. Uh lost it again. God damn it. Me losing my thought process. But yeah, no, it's great. I 100% support what you do, and I'm super excited to see what new projects you have in the pipeline. I know you've been like working with like so many different creators, and so whenever I see whatever big project you come up with, I'm just like, oh, I gotta watch
I'll
this.
I'll
I gotta see what this
I'll,
is
I'll give
about.
you a little sneak peek into the pipeline right now.
Ooh,
There is I haven't I need to revise it, but there is another theory video
ooh,
coming out within the next couple months.
oh boy, we'll have to. I'll be waiting on the edge of my seat because
Oh yeah.
you're gonna have to like. Would you say it tops the Pluto one, like in regards to like the type of energy you brought to that video? Would you say it's on like
The
par with it?
in in my head it does. We'll see how it looks once I've finished the script, recorded the footage, etc.
Okay. Yeah. No, definitely. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Is that something that you're currently working on, or is that just something you're like in the back burner for right now?
It's on the back burner.
Okay.
I have like I did create a document for it already, and I had it for the most part scripted out, but it's been so long, and I need to revisit it because there's like a couple of loose ends I need to tie up on it.
Hmm.
Because if my thing with the Pluto is mom video was like I want to be able to provide actual evidence for this and like
Hmm.
not just pull shit out of my ass, which like I ended up doing near the end, but that's for the turn, that's for the joke.
Hmm.
I want people to actually like believe it for a little bit. And then after they hear the punchline, they go, "You know what? I hate it, but he's kind of right." Like that's the vibe I go for. Is like I hate it, but you know what? He's got a point.
I would say another kind of going off that aspect of like you pivoting the the who has the most trauma in Kingdom Hearts, because when I
Yeah.
was watching that, I was not expecting the answer that you put for fucking. I was like, it makes sense. I would 100% support this, and this is
Yeah.
my stance from here on out.
Dude, I don't even remember. I'll be real. I don't even remember what the concept or like how I came about the thought process for that. I think I just wanted to make another style video like that because I had so much fun doing the I guess the news anchor style talking into the mic,
Hmm.
talking into the camera sort of thing I did with the Pluto's mom video. Um but I remember specifically being like, okay, like what is something that people will have a lot of opinions about with Kingdom Hearts? And I was like, I'll do the black box later, maybe, I don't know. And then I was like, who has the most trauma in the series? Like, people are sad. People relate to sad characters. And I was like, who actually has, who goes through the most stuff? And I was like, well, it's obviously Sora because like you could, that's basically all of the games is just
Hmm.
putting Sora through hell. And I was like, but wait a minute, there's always someone else with him the entire time.
Exactly.
And oh, you know what? No, I know exactly what it is. It was because one day I realized that canonically the only other person that has been face to face with the Grim Reaper is Jiminy Cricket.
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
exactly what it was. And then I was like, you know what? He's been there through all of it. That poor bastard. And that's how that video came about.
It's
That's
crazy.
another one too that I think of mine is a little underrated.
Yeah, because I now that I think about it, because that was that a TikTok? That was a TikTok, right? Or was that a clip from something? Because I
It
remember
was a
seeing
clip
the
from the YouTube video.
was it okay? I remember seeing the
Yeah.
clip, and I think I might. Did you upload it to TikTok or was it YouTube
Yeah.
Shorts? Okay,
No, well, I
that's.
did both actually because I was uploading to both platforms
Mhm.
for a little while, um, and then I realized I just don't have the time or energy to to manage both of those, so I gotta pick one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I chopped it up and then uploaded them as short form content on both platforms.
Mm. Yeah, I remember out of context seeing it, and I was just like, Yeah, I don't know what you were going on about before this, but I 100% support what has been
What's
said,
what's
and
funny
it's factual.
is yeah, what's funny, if you watch the video, and there was only a handful of people that noticed. The first one that noticed it was one of my friends, and they I was I had just posted it and they watched it and then they pulled me in Discord call and they went, "You motherfucker." Um, what I did was at the beginning of that video, I do the intro and everything, and I present the concept of like which character has had the most suffering. Spoiler alert, it's not Sora. And I show a video or a clip of Sora looking at the gummy phone. And I put a red X over his face. But in that same clip, Jiminy Cricket is standing over his shoulder.
Hmm.
And so I kind of give away the video right there if you're paying attention to it. Like I give away the punchline at the
Ah,
very start if you're paying attention. I
yeah.
just thought that was a cute little thing, and of course my friend noticed it after they had watched the video, and then they said, "You motherfucker," and there was one person in the comments I think who saw that too.
Mm.
There was another person. I think the top comment on that video is someone going Jiminy Cricket, and I refuse to answer. And then there's a comment under it from the same person, like 5 minutes later. I was joking, and I was just like, "That's exactly the vibe I wanted from it."
God, that's like it's very similar to like some of the people in the trivia video when where people were typing on it in the chat, and they were like
Mm.
answering some of these questions, and it was like, I don't know, fucking this, and then it ends up being like the later taters part, and people were like, oh, that's Riku, and then people are like, should I feel bad that I knew that that was Riku? It's just like I kind of just threw that out there, and I'm just like, no, kudos to you for knowing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's always funny when people are like, I don't fucking know this thing, and it's just like, oh, okay. Wait, so I don't know if you admit I heard you mention you said you had two videos that you said that were underrated. And you mentioned the YouTube one. Was there a second one? Did you mention that as well?
I don't think I did actually. Is that the
Yeah.
question we're on right now? Is that
Yeah.
is that where
That
we're on?
was that's
Okay.
where we left off. I remember
Yeah.
you specifically said you had two, and I was like thinking back on it because I was about to move on to the next question, but I was like,
Yeah, we
wait,
go off on tangents, y'all. I'm sorry.
yeah. I
Um
mean, what's
I
so
hope they're insightful and entertaining.
I mean, we gotta.
But
It's a podcast. We gotta pad the time. It's okay.
God. Uh, but yeah, the other one that I was thinking of is and really it was more of a video for me. Um, it was a TikTok I made where I created my own Kingdom Hearts themed title menu. Um, and I
Yeah.
just took a video of me illuminated by a couple of lights with a keyblade in front of me. I'm looking sad and depressed or whatever. Um, and I made the logo in Illustrator, and then I animated everything in After Effects, and I was just really proud of it, because I was like, it was something for me more specifically, um, and I was like, I hope other people latch onto it too, and no one did, which is fine because it was made for me anyway, but.
Mhm.
I think it's underrated mostly just because just because I like it. So that's my. I mean, both of my answers are because of bias, because of course I made them. But
Mhm.
yeah, that would be my answer for this question.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, and that was kind of like what was it, like a refreshing thing, because there was I had seen other people also do that same sort of idea, but like when you go to like their channels and their accounts, you're kind of just like, oh, they're just kind of like they just made this, and then that's all they have for Kingdom Hearts wise. But to like go to your channel and for somebody to see that, even if it wasn't like too many people had seen it, um, just the fact that somebody could have seen it and they'd be like, wow, this is a fantastic representation, or like this represents Kingdom Hearts in just the vibe, and like going to your channel and being like, oh my god, there's a whole smorgasbord here of Kingdom Hearts
Hmm.
content. But it's
Can I
always
just say? Can I
hmm
just say? My proudest, or one of my proudest things I did on TikTok was when they introduced the floating heart filter.
oh
Um,
yeah.
because I started that trend with like, this is a Kingdom Hearts ass filter or something,
hmm
and people started doing that more, and there was a lot of stitches and duets and all this stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that one.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the community coming together.
I wanted to join in on that, but there was a point where I was still posting clips, so I had saved the video and I was gonna go back to it, and then I never stitched it. But yeah, no, I remember seeing that, and then because I always liked it, which I don't feel like I see. Does TikTok still have that feature to where you could stitch a video and it ends up being like a million other people that are like
Yes,
on the
because
same screen?
I think that's still trending. Because there's like I know one of the things that's trending right now is people making bands out of stitches. So you
Okay.
have like one person on drums, one person's on like guitar, etc., etc.
Huh.
Um, another one that I'm derailing so hard, but we can move on to the next
Oh,
question after
you're
this.
good.
Another one that I was insanely proud of was the 20th anniversary video.
Oh
Where
yeah.
I got a bunch of people to do the speech from Kyrie's letter at the end of KH2,
hmm
um with the music in the background and everything, and we all just kind of celebrated the 20th anniversary. And the funniest part of that was I got 13 people in that video,
Of
and
course.
and it was my 358th TikTok, which was
Of
completely unintentional.
course.
It was completely unintentional. The math doesn't add up now because since then I've deleted a couple of videos
Mm.
from before that one, or I've hidden a couple of them. But I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh my god, this was completely unintentional,
You
but it
just
worked
can't.
so beautifully.
You just can't with the Kingdom Hearts. You just can't with
Yep,
the numbers.
yep,
It
you can't escape.
even if you don't think about it. I wonder how many
Yep.
times Nomura has like accidentally done something, like put something in Kingdom Hearts, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't intend that to be 7 or 13." But I was like, "Ah, or go with it." That's the vibe. Uh, but yeah, no, I remember you posting that, and this is again before I started actually like making non-clip content, and I was like, "Damn, like I hope I get to hang out with those guys some point." And then
Well, I've got some news for you, buddy.
yeah, it was literally like the first day I posted that video where I was like, "Hey guys, I ran out of clips, so I'm gonna start doing other things on here." And then you reached out and you're like, "Do you want to hang out with us?" And I was just like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah,
But
because at the time I was like, man, I want to like reach out to more people and like
mhm.
build up more of the creator space. Like who do I follow that like would be a good? I was, oh yeah, this guy will work.
Mhm.
Um, I'm pretty sure I've I've told you this before. Um, do you, do you remember when you posted? It was like a, I think it was like your birthday or something. You
Yeah,
posted,
yeah, I remember
uh,
you told me this. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's so the I'm gonna expose myself as a scumbag real quick. Um, but you posted a birthday video and you were like, here's a couple of accounts that inspire me. And I
hmm
remember I followed you at the time, and I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, all right, if my name doesn't pop up on this, I'm not commenting on it. And I saw my name on there, and I was like, happy birthday.
What a true friend.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was before we actually got started talking and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I that was like my one like, does he know who I am? Like
But
oh god.
it's interesting too because like this kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, but so when I first started TikTok, the only person I knew that I could find on TikTok was Sarah Key. Um and beyond Sarah Key, I only knew like I knew HMK. I didn't really watch much of his stuff. Gamers Joint. And so I was like, there's not really much out here in the space of like Kingdom Hearts. But I was like, maybe I'll find people on TikTok. There's a lot of fandoms on TikTok. And then Oath was actually one of the first people I followed beyond Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Ellie was the second, or no, I could be misremembering it. I know it was Oath, Ellie, and then Lauren, who does all the
Oh yeah,
cosplay
Lorne.
videos. Yeah, and so those were like my first introductions to like, okay, there are people on here that are making Kingdom Hearts videos, and what was it? Oh yeah, so I didn't know the scope of like who was big, what's going on. I was just kind of like consuming it as the For You page was kind of giving it to me, and then I found like your stuff. I found Kelly, I found DJ, and then I just started following everybody, and then I would just like in my head have this kind of like these are the ones that I kind of like when you're watching YouTube and you're like these are my favorite YouTubers and these are the guys that I watch all the time, and I would get on TikTok and I would just like watch all of your guys' videos because they would keep popping up, and so in my mind I was like this is like the fandom, this is the big fandom, like these are the guys here, and when I made that video I was just like I really want to like express how like these people are great. They make Kingdom Hearts content, and a lot of people on my videos were like, "I can't believe I found KH this side of the TikTok of Kingdom Hearts TikTok."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Well, let me make a video and tell people like, hey, like, there's all these people that I found, so like, let me
Mm-hmm.
put a spotlight on it." And in turn, that is kind of stems back to this whole concept of doing this sort of like interview podcast sort of thing, where it's like I get to share with people like, hey, like these are people that I know that make content on various platforms, and it's like let me like, hey, like yeah, put a spotlight on them and be like check out these people, like they're worth like checking out. They make so much like cool stuff everywhere. Um, but especially back in the day when like we were all starting off on TikTok, like doing something like that, I feel like really was beneficial to so many people who didn't know that like some of the smaller people like oh my god, I'm blanking on her name right now. There's like some people who make content but they're like obviously like Millie Key is one that comes to mind. Like Millie Key makes content and like maybe not a lot of people like knew about their page, and I was like, well, maybe if I like make this video and like people go to their page and they're like, oh, well, that's really cool. Or who was it? Just like a few other people. I think pretty much everybody who we pretty much talked to. Like I did Swood was on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously like you, Kelly, uh like I think is her name's not Liza, is it?
It's Eliza.
Eliza, yeah. Evan was on there as well, and then there's just like a few other people. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I'm not trying to like boast and say like, oh, I'm like the big name and all this other stuff, and I'm the one that's like bringing everybody their attention and their fame. I definitely don't want to come across as that. It was just more so
Yeah,
that I
no,
was just
it
like,
was it was spreading the love,
yes,
and trying
exactly.
trying to get a community thing
Hmm.
going, and like I also had comments under my videos like that, like, oh my god, I found Kingdom Hearts TikTok, and I'd be like, hey, you should also follow these people, and I'd at
Hmm.
fucking everybody,
Right.
um,
I think there
and be like,
is.
follow these people, they're fucking cool, and they like Kingdom Hearts, so like get on that shit.
I think there was one time Oath tagged me in a comment section in one of their videos, and it was like that where it was like 5 comments of just like people getting tagged because I think TikTok limits on how many people you can tag per comment.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a great fucking idea. And then I started to do that in like a few videos. But then after a while, yeah, like I'm not gonna try to tag like 20 people in the comment section. And so I was like, hey, go watch this video I made
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
I
go
think
from there.
also TikTok just became a completely different landscape.
Yeah.
Uh, it evolved very rapidly, very quickly, and it's like constantly changing. And I think the sort of community aspect of it sort of like dipped away after a little bit.
Yeah, it still goes back to what I said before that we really joined at like the perfect time. Like I could not
Yeah.
imagine um trying to do this like later on, and I would feel so sort of
Yeah. I, I've
disconnected.
I've said it in maybe in private circles before, but I'll say it here. TikTok was definitely like the biggest push for me as a creator. Um, and it's where I found my first success at content creation.
Hmm.
And so if I had not had done that beforehand, I probably would not be where I'm at right now. Uh, where it's like I'm not like a big YouTuber or anything, but I'm I find fulfillment in the content I make currently, and that
Hmm.
would not have happened if I hadn't started with TikTok. So
Right.
like it really was kind of just the perfect conditions
Yeah.
for that.
It and TikTok really is like it has the benefits of sort of just pushing out everything to like so many people, and there's so many people using it. So it was really like it's really like a great tool even for like anybody starting out making content. Like I honestly would recommend just like going with TikTok first and then kind of branching out and making sure to branch out because obviously you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. But yeah, TikTok is honestly such a it's a fantastic tool for what it is. But like you did mention, it has changed since.
Yeah,
But
I have some opinions on TikTok, but again, we'll come to that when we when we get to that question.
right, uh, I I guess we kind of touched on this, but so this next question here is, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned since making content?
The biggest lesson, um, there's I don't mean to be like there's so many lessons you learn every day. But like there there really is. And currently the biggest one that has affected me recently is I am one person
Hmm.
and I have to do it all myself, but that takes time because I am one person. Um and I can't pump out the videos I do as quickly as other people because I don't have a team to work with to help me achieve that. And so that causes me to put a lot of stress on myself to get videos out on time, and then that causes me to stress even more about like, well, if I rush it out, is the video going to be good and yada yada yada. I did that with the video I uploaded today, actually,
Hmm.
um, because it was an idea that well, I won't say it's an idea I had, like I thought of it originally, but the Olympus Coliseum mod was popping off around Christmas time, and I was like, well, I want to do this for stream because I think a lot of people will enjoy it. And my Kingdom Hearts 3 mods video uh seems to be doing pretty decently, so let's run with that. And I did the streams for it, and everyone really liked it, and I was like, okay, let's figure out what I want to do with this. And I decided I wanted to incorporate a story in it, and I was like, okay. So I started writing up a script for it, and then once I got the script, I did the voiceover for it, and I was like, I want it to be a certain length, but I also want it to be edited this way. And oh, like while I'm in here, I also have certain jokes I want to tell, and some of them are visually represented, so I have to make the graphics for those. And it you know I also have to do the sound design for it, then I have to pick out the music for it and all this other stuff. And it turned into this sort of cyclone of, okay, I want to get this out on time. Shit, a month has passed. Okay, that's fine. I'll push it out in 2 weeks. Fuck, 2 months has passed. Let's I don't know what to do. And so I ended up having to have a come to Jesus moment with myself and be like, I listen, dude, you're one guy. You know you can make it good, but it's gonna take some time.
Hmm.
So do it when you do it. It comes out when it comes out. Chill. And so that's been my thing. uh, the biggest lesson I learned recently has been fucking chill. It comes out when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean it can be overwhelming, especially when you see the output that other people put out, and so you feel like, oh, I
Yeah,
gotta
and
that's like the goal to achieve, but
yeah,
it's
and like it, I constantly, I'm so bad at it. I constantly compare myself to creators much larger than myself. And it's always people I take inspiration from too, and I'm like, man,
mhm,
they make such good videos, and they're constantly like putting stuff out, yada yada yada, and like, why can I not do it? Like, what's my deal? What's my damage? Yada yada yada. I get like I get like a creative block when I like as soon as I sit down to edit things. Like, what's my fucking deal? And then I have to be like, well, those people have a team
mhm,
and they do it full time already. Like they have the time to do it. I don't have the time to put in as much effort every day. Like I still put in a lot of effort,
right,
but I can't dedicate a whole day to just doing content stuff because I have my 9 to 5 and I've got my fucking social life and I don't have people helping me working on stuff. I have to do streams and stuff.
mhm,
And my streams have actually suffered because of me trying to get certain videos out because I get into this mindset of like, fuck, I can't stream. I need to edit, otherwise this isn't gonna get out. And then people are wondering where the fuck I am for like streaming and stuff. And so it's just right now I'm just trying to find a balance with it. I realize the faults that have happened over the past couple months with this, and I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's see what we can do. Let's set some goals. Let's run it.
yeah.
So if you're wanting to get into content creation, just know it's a lot of fucking work. It's not gonna be pretty. You're gonna be exhausted. You're gonna want to quit,
It
and it's up to you whether you do or not.
it really is a labor of love because in the beginning you don't get any notable recognition for it unless you get like
Hmm.
really super lucky. But yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart, I would say. It definitely
Yeah,
takes a certain kind of mindset to be like, all right, I work, even if you work with two jobs, and then you're like, where can I find the time to edit? And then
yeah,
you really
and
have to like know your limits and work within
yeah,
them.
and like I think if you want to be serious about it, you should treat YouTube as a second job.
Hmm.
Um, well, treat it as a hobby first, and
Right,
then if
right.
you decide that it's worth pursuing even further, then you can start thinking of it as a second job. And granted, I'm some 10,000 subscriber Andy over here, um, but I do like what I do despite how stressful it can be sometimes, and it is something that I can't really picture myself doing much else.
Hmm.
Um, it's something that gives me fulfillment. It's something that brightens the darker parts of my life, and so it's what I want to do. So I treat it like a second job, um, and it's just a lot. It's a lot.
Hmm.
And if you make videos out there and you're like, oh, this is like really easy, you're not doing it right. you're, you're not doing it right. I promise you.
Yeah.
Reevaluate, do the research, because like I don't think a lot of people understand like just how much goes into starting up also
Oh,
because
100%. Yeah.
like you'll make a video and you'll just blindly put it out and it's like, oh, I got like 1 view, but I worked so hard, blah. And it's like, well,
Hmm.
no, you worked for like 5 hours to cobble something together and then post it. But like you have to do so much research on like what makes a good title, what makes a good thumbnail, what makes an interesting video concept. How do I do an intro? How do I do an outro?
Hmm.
What how do I do retention? Like what how do I handle comments? Like how do I promote the things I do? And it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It really is something that you have to do a lot of research, just like of your own just desire to learn more about it. And like I said, this is kind of going back to what we were saying before. Like we've been in the YouTube sphere since like the early days. So we've been like learning about it as it evolves and where it gets. And not to say that anybody has to go like 10 years of like watching YouTube to maybe to be a YouTuber,
Oh yeah,
but it's really
yeah,
something that you have to study other people and kind of figure out like, okay, so this is how this works. And then you're going to do it and then you're going to fail. But that's okay because if you're doing it as a hobby and you enjoy doing it, then you just keep doing it and you keep getting better at it. And eventually you're going to get to that point where you do get a notable following. And then you want
mhm,
to amp up production and, at that point, it really puts it into perspective of like, wow, I really underestimated how much effort it takes just to make silly little videos because I don't have time for it and like it's stretching myself too thin sometimes. Like I even find myself with because I work two jobs and it's like, where do I even find the time? And like, if friends want to hang out, I'm not gonna sometimes it's like depending on like the scenario. If it's like something minor, I'll be like, I don't feel like doing it today. I gotta catch up on some editing. But if there's like freaking sushi, I'm like, I can't pass up sushi. I gotta get me some sushi. And so like I'll go out for a few hours, come back and edit. But yeah, it definitely is one of those things that you have to know your limitations, work around your schedule. Like you said, treat it like it's an actual job, but also don't overstress yourself because then you pretty much lead yourself to burnout and
yeah.
nobody
And
wants
not
to
not for nothing.
experience it.
Not for nothing. You're gonna hit burnout. It is
Hmm.
inevitable, but you have to work past it in order to keep up with it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
And that's something I tell myself. I have to remind myself constantly. It's like, man, don't be afraid to take a break. I'm bad at
hmm
that. I'm bad at treating myself. Don't be afraid to take a break.
listen, if there's anything that I've learned in the years of just experiencing and consuming YouTube, is that JonTron don't put out shit for like 5 years and he comes back out and it gets a shit ton of views. Anybody can do it. And I
Yep.
know obviously like JonTron, a bigger name, but just the fact that he hadn't lost any like um momentum after taking a break, I'm like, I think the concept of like taking a break is healthy. I think it's
Yeah.
definitely one of those things that you have to hit your quotas, but go at a brisk pace, if you will. But
Yeah.
I can feel the cringe. You
No,
cringing on the
sorry.
other side of
I got distracted by a
that.
Discord DM, but I did
All
think that
right.
was funny.
Okay.
But also, but to put another asterisk on that, we can move on.
Mhm.
I want to tell people this right now. Even though I'm not Mr. Big YouTube man yet. Um, Catch me in a couple of years.
Hey.
Um, I have learned this on TikTok. I learned it on YouTube. Uh, Consistency is a fucking myth.
Mm, that
Do
is so
not give
true.
into the grind mindset that you have to post every 2 weeks, every month, every week, whatever it is. It's a fucking myth. It really is. If you want to do upload consistently just so you can have a good rhythm going, and there are benefits to being consistent, but at the end of the day it's a fucking myth. So fucking chill, relax.
Yeah, I
Make a
mean,
good video, put it out when it's done.
because you're really at the mercy of the algorithm at the end of the day. So it's like, if YouTube doesn't want to push your shit out, then you're like, okay. But what I view, and I view this across all platforms, is that that video remains on your profile, and eventually somebody will see it in the events that another video ends up getting more views. And like you said with your Nuzlocke video, it didn't really get that much traction, but then you put out your mom is Pluto theory, and then it ended up getting more piggybacking off of it. And so at the end of the day, I'm always just like, well, it didn't do good on launch, but maybe YouTube will randomly push it to people, or it'll get like recommended. Somebody's doing a deep dive into like what I have to offer, or whoever it may be, and then uh, it gets maybe a few more views, but at least it's a few more views than it was, it wasn't getting before. Um, and it kind of shows you're also like your progression as a content creator too, because then people can kind of see like where you came from and like the kind of content you make and like your ideas and whatnot. So I always view every upload as like a badge, and I'm just like, here are my badges, and this is what I worked on. Like my A+ is on the fridge for everybody to see. It's like they might have not gotten an A+ from the teacher YouTube, but they got an A+ in my heart, and that's all that really matters.
Mhm.
All right, so let's see
Next
where
question.
I'm trying to find where. Okay, here we go. So do you find more success or enjoyment doing long form or short form content? And
Long form.
I figured
Long form.
your answer was going to be long form, especially since we did touch on this a little bit with how like TikTok's not really like the vibe anymore for us.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I 100% agree. Long form is so much more rewarding, in my opinion.
Yeah. Was there a second part to that question? I just interrupted.
No, you're
Like,
good. No, I was saying, did you find more success or enjoyment doing long form or short form content? And
um,
as somebody that came
it-
from TikTok going to YouTube, I was like, I definitely got to ask this because you've
yeah,
hit both sides of the spectrum here.
yeah. I definitely find more fulfillment in long term content. Um, Not to say that I didn't enjoy my time doing short form content because I definitely did,
Hmm.
but short form content is in this weird space where a lot of people want to consume it, but no one wants to commit to specific short form content.
Hmm.
They just want whatever thrown into their eyeballs at any given moment. Um, so I my goal pretty much has always been trying to build a community or a fan base or something, whatever you want to call it, and like have people be able to look back on some of the stuff I did and go, oh, there's this whole library of content from this one dude who made me laugh from this one video. Maybe he'll make me laugh in other videos, yada yada yada.
Hmm.
And for a while, TikTok was providing that, but then as it grew and as it evolved, it became less about trying to do community building and making a series for people to follow, and ended up becoming more so, oh, what can I throw at people on the For You page?
Hmm.
And if you look at analytics for any TikTok account, it will show that most of the people who view your video are viewing it from the For You page. They're not
Hmm.
going to your channel just to find it. I think most accounts that have people viewing the page and scrolling through the content of your page are people who saw part 2 of some random interview or a Reddit story and want the rest of it.
Hmm.
And they want the first part to it and they want part 3 and whatever, and they'll scroll through until they find what they want. Um but eventually, when I was going through TikTok and making content there, I wish I could remember when exactly it was that I was like, you know what, it's starting not to look too great. I remember when uh, I flirted with the idea of doing YouTube. I was
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm already doing Twitch. I need to grow some other platforms. Maybe I'll do YouTube question mark. Um and then I forget who I was watching. I was watching some interview and someone was like, "Oh, well, I just make YouTube videos or I do streams and I turn the streams into YouTube videos and I turn the YouTube videos into short form stuff." And I was like, "Perfect. That's great. I'll do
Hmm.
that." Because I quite enjoy streaming and it'd be really nice if I could stream every day for my job. So I was
True.
like,
The
let's yeah. So like let's try and do that. Um and I was doing the YouTube videos and I realized very quickly I was like, "Oh, the kind of content I make for YouTube doesn't really work if I just chop it up and throw it on the For You page. Um, because I most of my content is based on like a specific cadence or
Hmm.
a rhythm, or there's a story involved in it somehow. And uh so like I could take like the funny moments out of it and upload them, and that might work. I did see some success with that when I did my uh Kingdom Hearts but a will tells me where to go video,
Hmm.
because I was doing the Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer, and I had a mod that changed the organization members into either Winnie the Pooh characters
Yeah.
or the Little Mermaid characters, and people really liked the one where it was Axel as Kanga.
Hmm.
They liked the one where Ariel was Larxene, but the one that popped off the most was this one bit I had where I go, you know what is Scar randomized into? And I immediately cut to to Winnie the Pooh on Xemnas's body. I'm just fighting him. And I took some out of context voice clips of Pooh, uh, where he says, "Hello, Sora. My tummy's feeling kind of rumbly," and I was like, and then I found this one voice clip of him saying, "How do I say goodbye to myself?" And I was like, "Perfect, we're throwing that in there," and that
Oh
got like
God.
70,000 views on TikTok or whatever, and people fucking loved it. Um,
Oh God. I'm in
but
tears right now just thinking of it.
it's so good. It's one of my most favorite edits I've ever done in a video. Um, but yeah, so so some of that stuff worked, and then I tried to spend a lot of time figuring out how I do it for all of my videos, and I got too stressed out about that, and I hit burnout too quickly, and I was like, man, is it even worth like uploading these things? Because eventually it started petering out, and it was like I wouldn't hit my target goal for how many views a TikTok would get based on uh or from a clip I pulled from a YouTube video, and I was like, is it even worth doing this right now? I don't know. And then I went on an indefinite hiatus.
Sorry, I had to blow my nose.
Oh, you're good.
uh, but yeah, I've one thing I have noticed between posting on all the different platforms is that there definitely is a different vibe is to the viewership on every platform.
Mm,
And that's the one thing I learned about posting exclusively on TikTok initially in the beginning is that like I'll post something and it didn't do that well, but then I'll post it on YouTube Shorts and people eat it up. And I'm just like, huh, that's
yeah,
weird. And I
and like
remember we
there's
had this conversation before too, because I was like, this TikTok did really well, but this YouTube Short did poorly.
yeah, and like there's a bunch of different contributing factors for that happening inside of each respective platform's algorithm. One of the things that was kind of eye opening to me when I thought about it, and kind of another deciding factor for why I decided to just pursue YouTube more was I would make YouTube videos and they would do like pretty decent, whatever. And then I put out another YouTube video, and then both of those videos are doing pretty decent after like a couple of weeks. I'm like, okay, there's like a little bit of like synergy here. Some people are like diving into more content, whatever.
Hmm.
Um, on TikTok, if that TikTok doesn't pop off in 2 hours, it's dead. It is
Yeah.
absolutely dead. There is no reviving it. You may see like a little bump every now and again, but it's not happening. Like that TikTok is done. Um, the only way that videos gain more traction is if it's just constantly being fed to people after that 2 hour mark. If the algorithm deems it worthy to be shown on more people's For You page, and with the type of content I was doing, it wasn't meeting that requirement. So I was just like, okay, um, I can either stretch myself even more thin and try to think of more ways to make TikToks that are not based at all on my streams or my YouTube, or I can just abandon this for a little bit and work on the thing that is actually giving me some dividends here.
Mhm.
Because the benefits of doing YouTube have definitely outweighed the benefits of me doing TikTok. So I was like, okay,
Yeah,
we'll do YouTube.
and I definitely feel like the amount of views that you get and even like followers, well, I guess I think it's more views than anything. Is it feels more substantial on YouTube
Yeah,
because you with TikTok, it's like anybody can watch your video and it doesn't necessarily mean they went to seek it out. It's like great, this has like 70,000 views, but like who really like you look at the likes and you're like
hmm
the people who actually like it will like it. Um you always got those people that like stuff just like everything. But then you post something on YouTube and you're like, damn, this has like 50,000 views. Like this is generally like reached out to people. People clicked it. They had to physically click on it. So you feel more,
yeah,
it feels more rewarding. And then it's like, and that, I've never understood it because like, I know for a fact that like every audience, no matter how big it is, you're talking about like the biggest ones like Moist Critical, Pokimane, the follower count, you never see 100% of those followers show up to like a lot of
yeah,
their live streams or videos. I've noticed that it's always 10% of the follower count. And on
yeah,
TikTok, I feel like it's not even 10%. I feel like it's like 2%. And I
yep,
think it's just because of the mindset of people who are on TikTok. They're like, oh, hey, I like Kingdom Hearts, follow, and then never go back to it. Or if they
yeah.
do,
There's TikTok
mhm,
is good at virality. It is not good for community building.
yeah,
At
right.
least not anymore.
It's
It used to be a pretty good space to build a community. Now it's not. And again, that's just I think I don't even necessarily blame TikTok for it. I think it's just the manner of how short form content has evolved.
Yeah.
Um, it's no one if you're watching short form content, you're probably not following someone because of them. You're probably following them so that you could get more of that type of content in your
Mhm.
algorithm. Which I mean, that's what you follow people for anyway, right? But it's if you're just trying to be like, oh well, here's my goal for this, and it's like I just want to make the same sort of format video, yada yada yada. People will like it, and then it'll peter out in a couple months when I stop being relevant. If that's what you want to do, cool. But it's not what I want to do. I want to like try
Right.
a bunch of different things, and see how people respond to them. And even if it fails, they'll still like. I hope what the takeaway is that they enjoy my humor and what I offer as far as like my commentary is concerned. So
Ye
it's yeah, TikTok was just not meeting the goals that I wanted for
Mhm.
myself and the type of content I make.
Yeah, it's definitely a good stepping stone, but longevity, you definitely find more success um, elsewhere. But
Mm,
it's interesting. It's definitely something you would have never considered until you had like gone through it, and then you're just kind of like, huh. Like you would have thought like TikTok was like the big thing that's like popping off, but then in reality, you're like, it's like it's almost like a high school job. You know, when you're in
yeah,
high school, that job's great. But then you start to get older and you have more bills, and you're just kind of like, I need something more. I need something that's more substantial, more fulfilling. And YouTube has stood the test of time and has still remained here. And it definitely it's definitely like a good thought to have if anybody ever is making content on like Instagram or TikTok. Try posting on other platforms and seeing if you feel any differently when it comes to like the type of content you make, because maybe it's like Jax, like you said, it's your content's more formatted to one social media platform than it is the other. So it's like
yeah,
maybe it's not
and
you're the problem, it's the platform is the problem.
yeah, and like not to say that your content can't be converted into a different format for different platforms.
Mhm.
It's just that for me currently, I do not have the energy or time to do so, or to heavily pursue that more than anything. And again, TikTok doesn't really align with what I want to do. If anything, I would use TikTok. Me personally, this is just me saying this. You All of this that I'm saying right now is a your mileage may vary situation where maybe you
Mhm.
do end up doing TikTok and you have more of a community based thing there. If that's the case, good for fucking you. I am super jazzed for you, and keep doing what you're doing if you enjoy it. Um, it's just hasn't been my experience. Um, but I forgot what I was gonna say before I gave that little caveat. It's something to do with converting uh
Uh,
long form and the short form, whatever. But
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I think I've said the important bits.
But yeah, no, definitely the analogy of like I was saying, like, oh, it's like a high school job. I think that applies to, I wouldn't say it necessarily applies to TikTok. It kind of piggybacking off what you said. It definitely is like one of those things that uh it could apply to any platform realistically. Like maybe you post on YouTube and YouTube doesn't work for you and you go to TikTok. But realistically it's you should always diversify. And like for me, if it wasn't for the fact that I pretty much post the same type of content on every platform, I don't know that I would continuously keep up with posting on Instagram and TikTok as well as on YouTube Shorts. I post on Twitter. Ain't nobody seeing anything I tweet because Twitter algorithm, I have never understood it. I see you post stuff like your tweets, and I see other people will post stuff and they get traction. And I'm like maybe I should write like actual tweets and not post videos. But then at the same time
Dude,
I'm like I don't think it's even worth it for me. I think Twitter just is just not my thing. And so I
dude,
post, but I just scroll. That's all I do for the most
the
part.
only time my tweets ever pop off is when uh I'm making fun of Disney adults.
Oh
that's
yeah,
that's
I
the
remember
one
that.
tweet I have that popped off, and I literally had to turn my phone off because I was getting so many notifications for it. To explain for those who are unaware, I made someone posted a tweet about one of the Mickey Mouse Christmas specials or whatever, and they were talking about how much emotion Mickey Mouse had standing over the grave of this whatever, and how Disney should show more emotion and not be afraid to let Mickey Mouse do things that aren't child friendly, And I just quote retweeted it with, if I could get a room full of Disney adults and show them that clip of Mickey getting chokeslammed into a wall, and that popped off, and like a lot of people were like, pretty like, yeah, that's kind of funny, whatever. But I got a couple people who were like, why are you being so mean to Disney adults in the original poster? I was like, yo, chill.
I
Like,
swear.
that's not how I meant for it to be intended. I thought I was just trying to make a funny haha. So maybe I was just an asshole in that moment, and I'll accept that. But
I,
it's just one of those. I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
I've accepted that anything that I do could be deemed as an asshole moment for any given person. So I'm just like, obviously, like if I do anything to hurt somebody, then 100% is warranted because I never have intention to hurt anybody. But like you
Mhm.
posting that Mickey clip or talking about it is like anybody to be get twisted about it. I mean, everyone's opinions are
Yeah,
valid,
and
but it's just like
I should reaffirm that it was not a lot of people who were uppity about it. A lot of it, like I would say about like 90% of it, were people like going along with the joke.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's always just the thing with just some
Yeah.
people. They're just like, like okay. I hope you feel
The
better after leaving that comment.
the other big tweet that I had that I am very proud of was when Queen Elizabeth died
Oh.
and Trisha Paytas had her baby, and everyone thought Trisha named her kid Elizabeth. I was so proud of my post there. Again, for the viewers at home, I made a video that was it was the scene from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep where Xehanort takes over Terra's body, and I just put Trisha Paytas's face on there. I put Queen Elizabeth's face on there. The the keyblade that Terra drops, I put a fucking pregnancy test on that thing. I actually looked up what pregnancy test she used because there was she like posted a photo of it of like her and her partner with the pregnancy test, and I was like, I need to find that specific one. I need a PNG of that pregnancy test. Um, and I posted that on Twitter and it blew up. Also, I'm gonna throw some shade at Know Your Meme on Snapchat. They
Oh,
stole my video and
oh.
didn't credit me because they were covering that too, and they used my video as the background while they showed other people's tweets on it,
It's
and they didn't credit me.
so wild because it's not like you made a very basic video. That's like a very like you see that and
It's
you're
so
like
niche.
somebody put effort into that. Like you
It
did
is
not
such a
credit.
niche video. Uh, like I mean to be fair, it was just like a quick dirty Photoshop and a couple of keyframes. I think it took me like 3-ish hours to cobble together, and I posted it at like 11 at night or some shit. But
Mhm.
I I remember I remember I didn't even see it. It was one of my friends was like, "Hey, your video is on this Snapchat." And I was like, "What?" And they told me what it was, and then I went and looked at it, and I was like, "Those sons of bitches. They stole my goddamn video that I worked so hard to shit post." It was really silly. So, yeah, know your meme. I'm waiting for my royalties, bro.
Like that check better be in the mail. The whole
Mhm.
2 cents you made off that video.
Oh
Like
yeah. Yeah, give it here. That's my 2 cents.
I did want to kind of ask because you kind of mentioned this just a second ago. But you said you posted that like at 11 at night. Did you actually post it like later on at night?
I don't remember. I've slept since then. Um
Well, no,
I
because
I I remember I was talking with Ellie while I was making it, I think. Or no, I asked her like a couple of questions to make sure I got all the British terms right or whatever. And she's in the fucking UK, so
yeah.
I think maybe that was the correlation there.
Well, it was just more.
Just time zones.
Well, no, the reason I ask is that I was curious on if you find success. This isn't a question on here. This is just something I'm personally curious about. But do you find success posting more at different times, or do you just post wherever? Because I feel like if I post too late, then those videos usually don't. And this is more so, I guess, for TikTok. YouTube, I tend to post around the same time. But like on TikTok, I've noticed if I post something like at 11 at night, it never gets any views whatsoever. Have you experienced anything like that, or do you just kind of post just whenever?
It for short term, I did have some specific slots that I I did, but that was more so a superstition thing than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it really is just kind of a case of your mileage may vary, and I guess maybe look at your analytics and see what you can determine from that. Try new things, repost old videos, whatever.
Yeah, I always wondered if that was like a thing, but then I was like, well, time zones exist, so morning for me is night for somebody else. So it's like, I guess the algorithm can't really determine it, but I was just curious because I was like, I wonder if anybody else experienced that because I've kind of been doing like a 10 a.m. is like my slot. So like that's what I do is like 10. I YouTube videos all come out at 10, and then when I'm at work, I tend to post like if it's a TikTok or whatnot, like every few days I'll post the new one.
Hmm.
Usually like on my first break, which is around like 10 or 11. So those are where I feel like I've had the most success, but it's like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe I should try a different time, but like you said with the whole superstitious thing, I'm just like this has worked so far. I'm gonna stick with it. YouTube is pretty good though. It tells you like what time ranges are usually like your
Hmm.
fan base is active. And I've tried to play with that, but like I said, it's the algorithm. The algorithm does what it wants to do.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. So we've talked enough about. Wait, actually, no. There's one more question here because they did the long form question. Well, actually, no. We've kind of answered this one. Like, what's your opinion? Well, no, we could still. I keep saying this. I should just ask the questions. Uh, what is your opinions on the social media platforms that you've posted on? We have touched on this, but if you wanted to elaborate more on, say,
I'll
maybe
I'll
other
I'll
platforms we haven't talked about as much, like Twitter or Instagram, the floor is yours.
I'll keep it short. Twitter is fine, I guess. I don't really post anything on there to like, I guess, garner. Uh, I don't content farm on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, TikTok, it was fun. Now it's not for me. YouTube's been great. I like YouTube. I like it a lot. Twitch has also been really fun. Quite enjoy Twitch. I enjoy Twitch more than YouTube, I think, just because I actually get to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my answer. Short, sweet, to the point.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of what was it? I kind of always forget to include Twitch as like a social media platform, but it is technically social. eh, I guess would it fall? I mean, not to say that like
Is there media on it?
there definitely is media on it.
Is there a social aspect to it?
There definitely is a social aspect on it. I guess it
Are
depends on
you
what
good at math?
streams. No, I'm not good at math at
Ah,
all.
there's the issue.
uh, but yeah, yeah, no, it would be social media. Yeah, I always forget to include it because I always think of like obviously Facebook is a big social media platform, but I don't fuck with Facebook. But apparently Instagram posts your reels on Facebook, which I found out by analytics because it tells you how many views got a certain reel got seen from Facebook, which is so interesting because I'm just like, do you imagine? Could you imagine trying to grow a community via Facebook post in like the year of 2021
I
when all
mean,
of
some
us were
people
on
have done it.
TikTok? Yeah,
Some people have
yeah,
done it.
for sure. It's just that like there's just something about it where I'm just like, is there just a whole it's kind of like when we think about other planets and like, is there life on those planets? And I'm like, is there a community on Facebook? Because obviously like YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok have their communities, but I'm just like, I want to meet somebody who like got big off Facebook video Kingdom Hearts. Like, who's that person? I want to know more about them.
Mm.
It's just one guy, and he's just stealing all of our content, and he's just posting it all. And he's
Shit,
like, "I'm the
man.
guy. I'm the only one. This is my job to educate the 60-year-old boomers here about what the Kingdom Hearts is."
Those are my boomers. Stop it.
Yeah,
The
we
boomers
gotta
like my content.
we gotta capitalize on them. Just make
Mm.
nothing but Steamboat Willie content. That's all they know. They haven't seen anything newer than
It's
Steamboat
just
Willie.
Timeless River over and over again.
No, it's all of our it's the content, but it has the filter on it, so it looks like an old like Timeless River
Uh,
world, and it has the audio with it and everything.
mhm.
That's how we get the boomer generation. We have to. I've looked at my analytics and like my range for age. I think it's the same between TikTok and YouTube. It's usually like 18 to 40-year-olds. I gotta hit that 60 plus demographic. It's at like one person probably just doesn't even realize what they're watching, but
Mhm.
we need to build it up with Facebook. Or
Absolutely.
is there anything older than Facebook? No one really uses MySpace,
MySpace.
but yeah, MySpace. Oh my god,
It's the
imagine.
revival right now.
Ah, yeah, that 100%. That would be crazy if MySpace still stayed the same and it never changed, and you just pop off posting. Oh, that's a badge of honor, honestly. Like I would be like, you hands down are the number one creator. You're popping off on MySpace. Kudos for you. All right. So moving on from creator content questions, we're gonna go more into your personal dislikes and likes when it comes to Kingdom Hearts and see where you stand about the things that you vibe with and that you don't vibe with in the game. So, first
Okay.
question here is who is your most and least favorite character? If you want to do like a top three, or if you have like one specific person, I have a feeling I know who your. Well, here's the thing. I feel like by memes, I know who your favorite is, but I'm sure I'll probably be surprised when you actually say who your actual favorite is.
So my actual favorite is not the one I simp for.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
I was.
my my favorite character in the entire damn thing is Roxas.
Okay.
I feel like that's a very popular answer, but god damn it, there's a reason. Um, yeah, my favorite character is Roxas. My least favorite character rotates between three people, and that's Ansem the Wise, Vexen,
Hmm.
and Lexius.
Do you just dislike Lexius because there's not really much there?
Yeah,
It's fair
he
enough.
he he gets some lines in Chain of Memories. That's about it.
Yeah, he only ever talks in Dream Drop and Chain of Memories, and
Yeah,
that's it. Which is such a shame. They they could do so much with him and Zaldin. Like they at least they gave Zaldin his time to shine, but I don't know.
Zaldin at least has like cool weapons.
Yeah,
Lexius just has this big old fucking bonk hammer or whatever the fuck.
yeah, that is
Um,
really odd. I've never figured. It's obviously a hammer, but like I'm curious on what the inspiration was when they designed that. Of like, where did they take that like style from? Because it literally looks like a toy. Like no joke,
yeah.
looks like a toy. Uh, but yeah, no. I mean, even if Roxas is a popular pick, it's kind of hard to say that you have a niche favorite Kingdom Hearts character unless it's like Lexius. Then at that point, then it's like everything else is like pretty much a popular pick. Because like my favorite character is Axel, and even though
Yeah.
he's not like as popular as like Roxas or Sora, like he's still pretty notable. So I wouldn't discount it too much for it being the popular pick, but no, yeah, Roxas definitely has that like vibe that like you're someone that has gone through shit, and then you resonate with
Mm-hmm.
Roxas going through his shit,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a great character. I definitely won't discount that. I definitely can see that where like I don't personally have those same types of experiences. So I never really rotated more towards Roxas. Like I've never had an issue with him, but I definitely vibe more so with Axel. Uh, so it's yeah. And then I agree with Ansem the Wise. And pretty much all the old men in Kingdom Hearts are very.
They all suck.
They all suck. I think who was it? Yen Sid kind of redeemed himself a little bit towards the end of three, but like Ansem the
I
Wise was
don't really
just
have that much of an issue with Yensid.
yeah.
I think Yensid's okay.
I feel like it was more so like I never had an opinion, and then people were like Yen Sid's stupid because of Mark of Mastery, and like
I
why would
mean,
they put
yes, but like I've also seen arguments against Sora being a master, and I was like, I can see both ways.
Mhm.
My the one thing that I kind of point to in that regard, um, as far as Sora not being a master, and you really do kind of have to think about it for a second, and then you realize that it's kind of true. And while it's not actually a requirement to be a master, it still puts things into perspective. Sora hasn't won a 1v1 against any of the main antagonists.
Wait, what do you mean he hasn't won?
Kingdom
Wait.
Hearts 1, he teams up with Donald and Goofy to take down Ansem, Seeker of
Oh,
Darkness.
okay. I get you. I get
Chain,
you.
Chain of Memories, he did take on Marluxia on his own. If you want to say he had summon cards and play the semantics that way, whatever. But the semantics I play in that is that Marluxia isn't really, he's on the lower end of the big bad scale.
Hmm.
He's
Hmm.
no, like, he has the weird fucking Reaper thing going on, but aside from that, there's not really much there. Um, he beats Zemnis with Riku.
Hmm.
Um, Coded, who gives a fuck? Um,
But
Dream
technically,
Drop
he's not
Distance.
encoded.
Dream Drop Distance. He does. You do beat Zemnis as a boss. However, you don't defeat him. He just
Mhm.
kind of fucks off and puts Sora in a coma. Um, so I don't count that as a 1v1 victory. And then Kingdom Hearts 3, he beats Xehanort with Donald and Goofy, and in the Remind DLC he beats him with Kairi.
Yeah. I
That's
guess.
the one thing I try to point to.
Well, here's. Oh my god, this is too funny. But what about Melody of Memories?
Man, fuck Melody of Memory.
With
I like
the
Melody of
vision.
Memory, but fuck Melody of Memory.
Yeah. No, so many people got pissed when Sora showed up at the end of
I
Melody of
did too,
Memories.
because Kairi, it was her moment to shine.
Ugh.
Like, god damn it, Nomura, let her do the damn thing. Oh,
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't know.
tangent for later.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's ironic that like the one time Sora actually 1v1 somebody is when he like isn't even in that reality. And it has to
Yep.
it it there could be so many things to say with that. But yeah, technically I wouldn't even say that's technically
It wasn't
Sora.
even actually Xehanort. It was
It
like
wasn't
some fucking weird projection of him or some shit. I have to rewatch the
exactly, yeah.
cutscenes, but
It
fucking
falls
it's so stupid.
it falls in the same realm as the Marluxia concept where it's like a very specific like it's like
Yep.
good but like
Yeah.
not really. But yeah, no, that is something I had never considered is that he usually has other people to help him because the Wayfinder trio did all on their own. Um, Same thing with like pretty much everyone else. Yeah, Sora's the only one that tends to get help, and sometimes I feel like it's unfair because like he's stuck with Donald and Goofy, but he does have the moments where he does separate. Like obviously, in, like the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, he's like Donald and Goofy, fuck off, I'm going on my own. But then
Later, taters.
yeah, later daters. But then obviously he finds Kyrie and he fights alongside Kyrie. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, no, I, I'm on the side of that. I just feel like the title is worthless and it doesn't really mean anything because I have yet to
That's also
see.
fair.
I've yet to see what that title really like demonstrates because as far as I'm aware, anything special about them is anything that anybody could do. Because like, oh, so Aqua is a master and Aqua learns how to change the land of departure into Castle Oblivion. But like realistically, anybody could do that because all you have to know is to point the keyblade behind the chair, and then I I don't know. There's nothing inherently unique. You could have put anybody in that scenario. It's just and Riku hasn't really. I mean, granted, he hasn't been a master for long, but there's nothing that he's doing that I can see like, hey, he can do this thing and it's unique because he's a master. It's just like, here's your name tag.
I think more so.
Congratulations.
I think in Riku's case, the master title is more so attributed to the adversity he's had to face as a Keyblade wielder
Yeah,
and the
yeah, I
struggles
can.
he's had to overcome. Whereas Aqua's is more of a traditional manner of, okay, you trained for it, here you go.
Hmm.
Um, but Riku's I feel is definitely more of like a, oh, he was in the pit with the darkness, and then he came back, resurfaced, atoned, uh, and now understands that there's two sides to the coin, light and darkness and whatever, which is why he's still able to use like Dark Firaga and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I think that is more so what the master title means for him.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, I think the only reason it bothers me is the fact of Mickey in Kingdom Hearts 3 only asking for Aqua and Riku's help because they were masters. And it's just like, hmm, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But
Next question before I get even more angry.
you bring up Michael Mouse and it boils everyone's blood.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
uh All right. So oh, I didn't write. I should have included. I don't know why I wrote it just like that. Well, no, no, I'll still ask it the other way. So, what is your favorite and least favorite world?
My least favorite is KH1 Atlantica. Fuck swimming. My favorite world is probably Toy Box and KH3.
Really?
Hold on. Are we talking all of the worlds, including the Kingdom Hearts original ones, or are we talking about just the Disney worlds? Because that
I
changes
mean,
the answer
you can.
greatly.
I mean, you could go. You could go either way. If you want to say your
If we're
favorite,
talking,
we'll do
yeah,
favorite for both and least favorite for both.
yeah. If well, least favorite for both is still Atlantica KH1. Fuck that world. But I will take KH2 Atlantica any fucking day. It's finny fun. Fuck you.
Hell yeah.
But if we're talking favorite Disney world, it's KH3 Toy Box. If we're talking Kingdom Hearts original world, it's Twilight Town.
Mm.
I grew up on those streets.
Would you okay? So do you have a least favorite original Kingdom Hearts world? There's not really that many to pick from.
I guess the end of the world, maybe.
Really?
Not
I
that it's
mean,
bad. It's just like
yeah.
it's like when I think of like my favorite ones, I think of Twilight Town. I think of the world that never was. I think of Traverse Town. I think of Land of Departure.
Mm.
So, yeah, nothing against End of the World. It's just like I think of other ones first.
Yeah. No, I the only reason I had the reaction is because I would honestly say that oh wait. Oh wait, never mind. I thought you said the world that never was, and then I just realized that you said the end of the world, and I was like,
No,
wait, those are two
no,
different things. Okay, because
no.
I was
I
about to
love the world that never was.
yeah, I was gonna say like, oh, but the world that never was is my favorite, and then the moment I was about to say it, I was like, wait, that's not what you said. But no, I 100% agree. Yeah, the end of the world doesn't really. It's such a forgettable thing that you almost forget
I
is
mean, comparatively, when you're playing it for the first time, it does make an impact. But then
yes.
after you go through the series, you're like, oh man, like, ooh, the world that never was really cool. It's got all
Hmm.
those skyscrapers and shit, and so it does kind of fall to the wayside a little bit. But
Yeah.
again, I don't hate the end of the world. I actually quite like it. It's just other ones have garnered my attention a bit more.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fair. I don't think there's really a definitive like. I mean, I would be surprised if somebody has like a strong opinion on a Kingdom Hearts original world where they feel like it wasn't like up to snuff because it's like
Hmm.
they're all good, but but I am interested to hear on like why you like the Cage 3 toy box because I don't feel like I've ever heard anybody say that the toy box was like their favorite for
It's the
Disney.
nostalgia.
Oh, okay.
That's purely what it is. I really love the Toy Story movies growing up, and I feel like K3 Toy Box kind of hit all the right notes with like Andy's room and then the overworld theme, and I don't know. I just really like it. It's
I
not really
honest
any more complex than that.
Yeah. I mean, I when I saw the initial trailers for Toy Box
Oh
as like a
yeah.
world, there was just something about that I was just like that just my soul is singing like that is fantastic. And I know like Nomura's
Hmm.
been wanting to put Toy Story into Kingdom Hearts since the first game. And now that we're finally here, I'm like, oh. And I honestly, I'm a firm believer that Toy Box is going to be like a staple world. It's going to be a world that returns because there's something about the fact that like maybe not like the actual world of Toy Box, but whatever this split version is that young Xehanort created, for the sheer fact that he was able to enter Verum Rex via getting flung into a TV, which is like,
Hmm.
what is this world? And like, what are, like, obviously, I feel like it has more secrets. On top of that, Matt Pat over on Game Theory made a pretty compelling theory about how the name of the world is Toy Box. And do you know where else they use the name Toy Box?
Where?
In Disney Infinity. That main hub was the
Uh,
toy box. So it makes me
that's
wonder
interesting.
if this realm is somehow a connecting almost akin to how we went into the virtual Twilight Town. to go to a portal to go to um, the world that never was in Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, I wonder if this is some weird hub that might connect realities. And this is how Kyrie and the rest of them are able to enter Quadratum via uh, the toy box portal to the fake Verum Rex to the real Verum Rex. I don't know how that'll work, but I feel like
My
this is the last we've seen of Toy Box. I'm firm on that. I think it's gonna show up again.
my other reasoning, I just thought of it, for why Toy Box is my favorite is I just like the fun fact that everything that happens in Toy Box is canon to Toy Story timeline.
Yes,
That
yeah.
is my favorite thing.
They
I'm like, ha ha ha, we got one, guys.
I'm trying to think because yeah, there wasn't there another world in Kingdom Hearts 3 that also they confirmed was
Big Hero
canon? Big
6,
Hero
I
6,
think,
yeah,
I
because that
believe.
technically was like a sequel.
Mhm. I
It's
believe. The comments can fact check me on that one, but
yeah.
I'm 90% sure it's Big Hero 6.
I'll read the comments. No, I'll read that or I'll put that into my next trivia question. I'll do more research into it. Um, but yeah, no, yeah, that's interesting. For yeah, definitely Twilight Town's a good pick. Yeah, honestly, they're all good picks. I don't really have Kingdom Hearts One Atlantica. I totally understand. Um, I think for me, I don't really know. Maybe like Deep Jungle because there's not really much going on in Deep Jungle. Is very kind of lackluster, and also the
hmm
fucking swinging on those goddamn vines.
You know what's
Ugh,
fun? You don't have to swing on a single one of those.
why is that?
You
Oh,
don't.
is it
You just
optional?
it is completely optional.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, I think maybe you have to swing on one. I
Hmm.
think maybe, but other than that, you can do the save point thing where you pick up the save point in the treetop area,
Hmm.
where that giant fucking tree log thing is that's hollowed out, and you jump in it and you start doing the sliding mini game.
Yeah.
You pick up that point there, and then you go to fucking the tent or whatever. You can
Hmm.
go to the safe point in there, get out of the world, go back in, and you can go to the safe point in treetop, and you're fine. I think the only time you
Oh.
ever actually have to use the vines is when you have to when you're searching for the gorillas, and
Hmm.
you have to get that cutscene where Clayton tries to shoot at Kerchak.
Mm.
I think that's it. But other than that, you don't have to do no hippos. Like, yeah, it's once I found that out, I was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
I
that
can
definitely seems like
show
a
you
game.
the world. Like,
Definitely is a game changer for sure. Yeah. No, it's yeah, it definitely shines a light though when people complain about like the more modern world and I'm just like, bro, we had Deep Jungle in KH1. Like KH3's worlds you could debate as much as you want. I
mm,
personally cuz what was it Frozen? Yeah,
yeah,
I get it. But at the same time, we had Deep Jungle. So it's like sometimes things don't always pan out with the vision. You work with what you get, and you know you
mm.
enjoy it for what it is. And I'm sure if anything, maybe we'll have a Frozen 2 world, and
Oh, we
it'll get
most definitely
redeemed.
will.
We have to, especially with the. I know it wasn't specifically mentioned, but in Frozen 2, it had that scene that looked like the Dark Margin. And I'm like,
I
that
haven't
is
seen it.
just well, there's just like Elsa's on this like island and she's trying to escape from it and it literally looks like the dark margin and I'm just like if there's not a reference to that somehow correlating with Kingdom Hearts, I
I
would
haven't watched a Disney movie since Toy Story 4.
gonna say that's Toy Story 4. Yeah, so it's been a minute. Actually, I'm trying to think of I've honestly now that I think about it, I don't know if I've seen a lot of movies. There's a
Yeah,
lot of like I
Inside
haven't
Out, haven't seen it. Encanto, haven't seen it.
Encanto is good. I would
Moana,
highly
haven't seen it.
Okay, so you've
I just don't care all that much. Once they announce the worlds for KH4, then I will go and watch the appropriate movies.
I gotcha.
but, but yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean that's valid. I mean, see, that's another thing too. Is that like a lot of people probably assume that we're like really big into Disney, and to be honest, when I was a
I'm not.
kid, I watched like I had the VHS tapes for like The Hunchback, Lion King, Hercules, and ironically, those are my top three because those are the three that I watched all the time. I also liked
Yeah.
Pocahontas. I had the VHS for that. But realistically, there was not a lot of Disney that I had seen. I just more so liked Kingdom Hearts as Kingdom Hearts. And
Hmm.
I hadn't seen like Aladdin until like maybe 3 years ago. The Emperor's New Groove I saw for the first time like 3 years ago. I know it doesn't have a world in Kingdom Hearts, but like I was
No,
very
well,
behind.
see, here's the thing. I'm not like a Disney adult or anything. I like their movies,
Mhm.
fine enough, just not as much as other people. However, I do have to give them credit because Emperor's New Groove is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that in the trivia video that
Yep,
you really liked it.
yep.
Of
It
course,
it just hits.
it should be Chicken Little though, but I
No, no, it
digress.
shouldn't. No, it shouldn't.
But yeah, I I I I remember what was it? I feel like The Emperor's New Groove. I would have probably enjoyed it more as a kid, and that's the same thing with like Aladdin. There's a lot of Disney movies I feel like I wish I would have seen when I was younger because I would have had more of a different appreciation for them. I think The Emperor's New Groove gets really like highlighted a lot. It's like a lot of people talk very highly about it. Um, but I feel like I kind of missed the boat on it, and watching it now, I'm just like, yeah, it's a good movie. It's the same thing with like Final Fantasy VII. I'm like, I definitely should have played Final Fantasy VII when I was younger, because playing it when I was older, I didn't get like that same sort of wanderlust behind it. But Aladdin, I also feel in the same boat. I'm like, I don't think Aladdin's that great. Like that's my Disney hot take right there. Is I think Aladdin is kind of overrated. Um, but that's more so because I was expecting like a backstory to Aladdin, and we didn't really get that. But I guess to each their own, you know.
Yeah,
Uh, moving on from there. Which boss would you say gave you the most trauma in Kingdom
Yazora.
Hearts?
Next
Oh
question.
my god, I
Yazora. Next question.
see, they they literally Nomura heard everybody crying about proud mode on KH3 too easy. What the hell? And
Hmm.
they're like, okay.
Thanks, guys.
And I still remember that interview of Nomura's like, yeah, I could even beat Yuzora. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. But it makes me so excited to think that if Yuzora got put into the game of like what else what else can Nomura cook up? Like obviously like he's cooked up a lot of like hard bosses. And to be honest, like I even struggled with Julius in Dream Drop Distance until I found out about the Balloonra
Yeah,
gimmick.
he's kind of wily though. Like,
He is like for as big as he is, for as fast as he moves, and as hard as he hits, it is fucking nuts.
mm,
Oh, I will say because so the only two bosses that I have not defeated is Yuzora, and then it's Zodiac Phantom Aqua from a fragmentary passage. Um,
that one took
but
me a couple of attempts.
I think a lot of that with Zodiac Aqua is just more so because of how a fragmentary passage rolls. You're also limited because you don't have the full scope of abilities like you would in like Kingdom Hearts 2 or 3. So it does kind of like I feel like it's difficult because you're kind of limited, but it also is highly like rewarding when you do beat them because of the limitation. But I would say the hardest boss that I was able to finally beat was I always mess up the name, but it's young Xehanort in Birth by Sleep because he's not
Oh,
the
it's
is
like
it the
the
unknown?
unknown figure or the mysterious figure.
Yeah, it always I think it's yeah because I want to say Zemnis also has it's weird because I feel like Zemnis is also been called the unknown in Kingdom Hearts
He
1, but he's
it's a different
also
name, but it's something very similar.
yeah.
That's actually a boss I have not beaten yet.
Is that
Is
Missing Cage one?
yeah. I also haven't beaten young Xehanort either, but that was because I haven't really spent too much time in recent memory on those games. But I do plan on going through and like platinuming every Kingdom Hearts game at some point, so that'll
Oh,
be on the docket.
that major kudos for you to even attempt that. Because for me, I'm like, I see that gummy ship achievement or trophy, and I'm just like, no, thank you.
Ooh,
I
I didn't know about that one. Maybe I don't do that one. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's a few where you have to like get a certain, I don't know if it's like a score or something, but it's just like you have to try in the gummy ships, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, thank you. I could take that as my. I already gave you my Disney hot take with Aladdin. Here's my Kingdom Hearts hot take. No gummy ships unless we do it like we did in Kingdom Hearts 3, where I could avoid everything. I will do
Baby's
that
first
in a
Star
heartbeat.
Fox.
100%. That alone would make me never want to play Star Fox because most people were like, "Yeah, I like the gummy ship because it's Star Fox," and I'm just like, "Great." Put it on the list of games that I will never play unless it's that one on the GameCube, which I think was supposed to be a different game, but then they turned into a Star Fox game, which I don't think has a lot of flying on it. I think it's like Star Fox Adventures is
Yeah.
the one I'm thinking of. Like I'll probably play that one, but yeah, I just
Yeah.
never could get behind the gummy ships. And yeah, if
Mm.
you do end up putting yourself through that again, major props. It could not be me though.
um,
Uh,
I don't mean to be rude, but I'm noticing that we're like halfway through this list of questions. And I'm getting very hungry. So
okay.
as much as I enjoy talking, I enjoy making sure my stomach doesn't yell at me more.
No, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah,
So, if possible, I'd like to get through more of these questions.
no, I got you. I got you. Yeah, because I'm starting to get hungry as well too, and I was just like, damn, I should have ate before this. But yeah, we also kind of nerfed ourselves because we kind of uh talked
Talked for two
so
and a half
much
hours
before this. Yeah.
beforehand. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. No, I definitely because we're already at like the 3 hour mark, so this is pretty much like a good spot. And I'm like, if we do anything past this, but yeah, let me go through the rest of these. Um. So favorite game and least favorite game.
KH2, Melody and Memory. Actually, no, take it back. Recoded for my least favorite.
Really? See,
Yeah.
I feel like Recoded at least tells a story that Melody and Memories did not. So that's
Okay,
why I would say
but
Melody and
like,
Memories would be my personal
here's
worst.
here's the thing. You could completely erase the story of Recoded and nothing changes.
That is very true. Yes,
That's
you're
at
not wrong.
least Melody and Memory offers a segue for uh Riku to go into Quadratum. Like, there's at least that. I think Recoded introduces the concept of data world, sure.
Hmm.
Uh but you kind of already get that in Kingdom Hearts 2 because you have Data Twilight Town. And uh in when they redid it for the movie, I think is when they introduced the Book of Prophecy, I think.
Right. Yeah. Because that
Um
wasn't in there before.
yeah, but then you also have Kingdom Hearts Key, so it's like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if anything, it probably is gonna play a factor into like, well, we put Jiminy's journal in this machine, and they find a copy of the Book of Prophecies. Like, let's put the Book of Prophecies in there and see what information we can find. Because I did make a theory on this because Mickey and Donald and Goofy show up in Union Cross in like the very beginning, and they're clearly there looking for something, and it makes me feel like they must be coming from the period of like post Kingdom Hearts 3 trying to find Sora, and Mickey does get that task from Yen Sid at the end of
Go to
Millennium Memories
Scala.
to investigate Scala. And so who's to say like he doesn't find a copy of the Book of Prophecies, takes it back to the castle, puts it in the machine, and then the next thing you know, Michael Mouse was actually playing Union Cross the entire time. And that's why the whole entire timeline seems funky. Um, there's also a scene in the original Key that didn't get included in Union Cross that has Maleficent actually mention Sora's name.
Yes, I do
So
know what you're talking about.
yeah, so that in itself also could it has like some unique ties to where it shows that this is really like not a thing of the past, but probably a simulation, which they pretty much said was like, well, they said that the world that Maleficent was in was a simulation, but then again, the whole concept of the worlds in Union Cross is very wonky. That's something that'll probably get touched on later on. But you said a KH2. Okay, yeah, KH2 is a pretty good. I really don't have any opinions on KH2 being people's favorites.
Yeah,
I think I would be more curious to hear somebody who says KH2 is their least favorite game. That's an opinion. I am very
I would
like
love to hear what they say about that.
exactly, yeah. Because I feel like there's enough people that have their gripes against like even 1 and 3, but like 2 is so unanimous where it's like it tends to be on the higher side of the scale for favorites versus the opposite of the least favorites. But if I ever come across somebody like that, I will definitely let you know of what they say. I feel like if
Please do.
anything, they're gonna be like contrarian. They're just like, yeah, I just don't like popular things. Peach Two is too
Oh, well
popular,
then
and I'm
never mind. I
like,
don't want to hear what they say.
it's like, all right,
I want someone with actual like opinions.
exactly, yes. Uh, so from there, so what other fandoms beyond Kingdom Hearts are you like really invested into that you would say is equivalent to near equivalent with that you are with Kingdom Hearts?
Man, let me tell you, I got a list. I'm really into anime. I feel like that's probably the closest thing that I could get to as far as my love for Kingdom
hmm
Hearts is anime. Um,
I feel like that's
and
the case with
depending on
most. Well, it's just gonna say I feel like it's the case with most Kingdom Hearts fans is that they're more anime fans than they are Disney fans.
yeah, and honestly, depending on what side of the bed I wake up on that day, I might go for anime over Kingdom Hearts. Just kind of depends.
Ooh.
Um, I know, shocker, but I really love anime. I really like Nintendo games. I'm not a Nintendrone by any means, but
hmm
I don't know. I like them for the simplicity sake of it. So I quite enjoy those. And more here recently. If Brisk, I don't know how much you've paid attention to my Twitter recently. Um, I am I'm a big Doctor Who fan.
Yeah, I have. I
I
have heard even before, like forever ago. I think when you first started your Doctor Who venture, and just hearing you pop off about like random points that
yeah
you would bring up. But yeah,
yeah
that's a monster of a series too.
yeah. I can proudly say I have seen all of One Piece and all of British One Piece.
Wait, is it really that similar to One Piece? Or is it just that it's long and that's why you
It's
said it's
it's
British?
over 800 episodes.
Oh,
And that's not
okay.
including the side shows, which I also watched. I watched Torchwood and the Sarah Jane Adventures and Class for anyone that is nerdy enough to care about it. On my drive back to my house today, I was listening to some of the audio dramas.
Oh god.
That's how bad it's gotten, dude.
I'll have to add Doctor Who to my list of
You
extremely long
shouldn't.
franchises that I
I mean,
somehow
of
get
long.
into.
I'll warn you right now. The '60s stuff
Uh-oh.
ugh, it's rough. But yeah, anime, Nintendo, Doctor Who.
Well,
I'd say those are my current big ones.
I kind of know your top video game picks because I did see your tweet. You know what's funny? Speaking of your Twitter, for some reason, I always get Twitter will be like, "Hey, did you know that Dax tweeted?" And I get your tweets sent to my email. Not every tweet; it's just randomly certain tweets will show up.
Oh no, you see, I have a guy that specifically does that.
Yeah, it's like Elon Musk. Hey, send him another email, please.
Yeah, yeah. I just call him. I go, "Hey, Muskie, we got another one."
But yeah, I saw your recent one with actually I don't even know if they're recent. I feel like sometimes I'll see your tweets and I'm like I'll like them and I'm like, "Oh, this is like from last week." But the one that you did with your top 4 games, which was I remember Majora's Mask was on there, which is one of
Mhm.
my favorites as well. Um Kingdom Hearts 2, obviously. Uh Splunk, was it Splunky?
Yeah, Spelunky 2 specifically.
Really? I feel like I've not heard anybody. I wouldn't say that I've heard that as a top pick for Maybe like
I've
one person
invested
I've
too
heard.
many hours into it to not say it's one of my favorites.
Is it just one of those things that you've been playing for like a very long time, or is it just one of those games that you just kind of pick up and come back to um, from like time to time?
You know how people have Minecraft phases for 2 weeks?
Yeah,
I
it's
do
like
that with
that.
Spelunky too.
Okay. No, I 100% relate to that because I definitely get an itch for Minecraft, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I played this for a short amount of time. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I have a friend who's like that with Zuma, where they have so many hours in Azuma because it's one of those things that they're like, oh, I just need something to like distract me while I like watch stuff or
Yeah.
you just come back to it, what's not and whatnot. But no, yeah, it's an interesting pick. And then I think Thousand Year Door, which
Yep.
I need to play it. I've only played the first Paper Mario.
The remake's coming
I
out.
know. Well, because I've been wanting to buy the original disc, but every time I find it, it's like $100. And I'm like,
Dude, GameCube
"Meh."
games are fucking expensive now.
Yeah. So, but now that it's coming on the Switch, I'm like, all right, I'll definitely have to get
Now's the
it.
time.
Yeah. Uh, what would you say your top three anime are? I think I know your number one pick, which is
What
Space
what
Stand. Is it Space Dandy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you know it. You know it. I love Space Dandy.
Yeah.
It feels like an anime that was made specifically for me
Hmm.
because it just hits literally every single note of my humor, my like it gets weirdly introspective sometimes and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Oh yeah, that's me." And it just hits all the right notes for me.
But
Um
Ian Sinclair.
Ian Sinclair, man.
Ian Sin fucking Claire. He's my favorite voice actor. And the thing is, I wish I watched more anime in English just so I honestly, I might do that.
Well,
I might just try to
you know
watch
what's
his animes in English.
the funny thing about Space Dandy? I don't know how much you know about the production of Space Dandy, but it originally aired on Toonami before it aired in Japan.
Really?
Yes.
Is it an
Um,
American anime or an American
it's not.
production?
It's not. It's a Japanese production, but they
Huh.
aired it in English first, and they had um the 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 directors behind it. They like would fly to America to see like Ian Sinclair do the lines and everything and make sure it was all good. There's a video of him at a panel, more describing it more. But yeah, it's the first anime where they broadcasted the dub in America before they broadcast the sub in Japan. I think Japan was behind by like a few hours or something.
Huh. That's really interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And
And
I
that kind of started this wave of like simulcasting and simuldubbing.
damn, Space Dandy paving the way
Dude,
for anime.
Space Dandy's like that, dude. But Space Dandy is my absolute favorite. If I had to pick another top two, um, I hesitate to say One Piece because I don't want to be that guy, but it is peak fiction.
I
So
mean,
I'm gonna say
it's my
One
number
Piece.
one.
I'm gonna say One Piece, and then my third place would be tied between either OG Trigun or Mushishi.
I've heard a lot of good things about Mushishi. It's
You
definitely
should watch it. It's fucking good.
it's one of those shows that like I don't hear a lot of people bring up, but like when they do, they speak highly of it. But I have
Oh
no
yeah.
idea what the context of it is. But I do see that it what was it? I used to look at my anime list. They have like their top animes
Hmm.
voted on by people because there used to be a heated fight for number one spot between Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Steins Gate. And then
Mm,
I would always see like if it ever shifted, if anyone else came up there. And I think at one point, I think there's a new number one that's up there. I don't know what it is, but I know that Mushishi was in like the top 20. And they pull
yep.
these stats from everyone else's lists. So it's not like it's like biased or anything. It's literally like people are like, this is a good show. And then when you go down the list of like the top 20, it's like, oh, I've heard of this. It's Bleach, Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
And then it's like Mushishi's in there. And I'm just like, huh, that's interesting. But yeah,
Yep.
definitely on my list of the animes to watch. Maybe
I
after I
I
finish One Piece or
yeah,
catch
I
up.
highly recommend it. I will say it's one of those shows that I recommend not binging
Mm-hmm.
because the pacing is very mellow and it does draw a little bit, but not in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously there's like one or two episodes that aren't fantastic, but it's one of those shows that you need to sit down and just appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch one, two episodes and go, all right, I'm gonna go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely one of those more relaxed. I say relaxed. There is drama that happens in each episode, but it's one
Yeah.
of those shows where it really draws on uh sort of melodrama and melancholy.
Yeah.
So
A- After I've seen Steins Gate, because Steins Gate, as I said, was always in like the top three of anime, and I had a friend who watched it, and he was like raving about it. And so I was watching it, and I never drop anime. I think I've maybe dropped like two or three animes in my entire life. I was like telling him, I'm like, bruh, I just can't get behind it. The pacing's like weird, and I'm just not that interested in the characters. And he's like, just trust, like, watch it. And I'm like, okay. And then I watched it, and I was like, holy shit, like, this is fantastic.
hmm
It's like, it's something that I can't even like express because, wait, have you seen it?
yeah.
Okay. So it's like something I can't even express to somebody who hasn't seen it because it's like, you would spoil too much if I were to be like, you have to get to like this certain point, and I'm sure you know what point I'm talking about when
Yeah.
it really starts to like things start to happen, and ever since then I was like, okay, I have to give. I will never give an anime up. I will never drop it unless it's something that I really don't vibe with, and like I said, very rarely does it happen. But if you say Mushishi's worth it, I'm sticking through it to the end. It's 100%. I will not drop it. The only time I will ever drop something is if I feel like I get weird vibes from it, or sometimes I don't get behind the whole like. Some stories will tell a story from the future, and then they'll spoon feed you bits of the past, and then the past is more interesting than the current future.
hmm
I don't care for that kind of storytelling. I've only experienced that twice, and both times it's happened, not a fan. But yeah, definitely if I watch it or when I get around to watching it, I will definitely let you know my opinions on it.
Please do.
So from there, which Kingdom Hearts game was your first?
KH1.
Do you have that same experience of go to the store, see that cover art, and then you were just sold?
No, actually. I was at a friend's house and he played it
Mm.
and I was a fucking shitty kid and very egotistical. I was like, "Oh my god, it's a kid with brown hair. They made a video game about me." And I was yeah, I was that kind of kid. Um I'm not like that anymore, I promise.
I'm not the
Um
main character anymore. I've moved on.
yeah, exactly. Now I'm the funny side character on all the merchandise.
Dude,
But
honestly, the better character. I
real.
thrive to be the side character. Someone else can be the
Yeah.
main character.
Yeah. But no, I saw him play it, and then I guess I asked for it for like Christmas or something, and I got it, and I got Kingdom Hearts 2 that Christmas.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, no, mine was I feel like that is kind of when it comes to most of the stories that I've heard from just like generally online is that people are always like either they see the game or they have somebody they know that that has played it and then they're like I need it. But that's always that's I feel like that's more of a exciting story because it's almost like infectious in a way because you're just like I was exposed to Kingdom Hearts. I didn't plan to play it, but I saw it and now I'm like, oh, I need to get
Yeah.
it. Versus the other
And
people where they're just kind of like, oh hey, Mickey Mouse is here. Or I guess for
I
me
also
it was just because of
remember I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm interrupting.
no, I was just saying it was more so because I saw Square Enix was involved and I had played Final Fantasy X prior, so I was like, "Oh, the people that made Final Fantasy X made this," and so I was like,
Mhm.
"I gotta get this game." And of course, the Disney aspects. I saw Simba was on it, and I was a big fan of Lion King, so I was like, "Ah,
Yeah. I
mhm.
remember being like just completely mesmerized by the box art too. That
Yes."
was a big thing for me when I
Mhm.
was younger. I got lost in the sauce on that box art. I was like, oh man, it's all cool and mysterious. And who's this guy? Fucking Mickey Mouse. Whoa. Um, yeah, it was the darker tones on the box art where I was like, ooh, it's so mysterious and cool. So that's probably why I really latched onto it if I'm being honest.
Would you say you have a favorite cover art out of all the games?
No, not anymore. Anyway, when I was younger, I would have said Kingdom Hearts 2 because I saw Roxas and I was like, who's that guy? He looks cool. Um, but yeah, now I would say I like most of them. Um, I mean, I guess if I'm strong armed into picking one, maybe KH2 again, maybe KH3 because that one is just really cool to look at. But
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
I don't feel strongly one way or the other about the box art.
yeah, I definitely have like a I would say if I were to have like an overall aesthetic, I really like the dark city aspect. So like the world that never
Yeah,
was. And if you've ever
yeah,
played Final Fantasy X, Xanarkin,
yeah,
but
yeah,
past Xanarkin.
yeah.
So anything that has to do with like well obviously like Cage 3's got the quadratum part aspect which I really like. The Cage 1 obviously because there's the one where they have like they're standing on the statue and like there's Kingdom Hearts behind it. But then there's also I think this might be like a different region, but the one where they're like sitting and it's like Sora and Kairi and there's like a statue behind them. Or is it? I think that one
Oh,
might not be a cover art. That might be for something else. That might be just like
are you talking about the
PR.
one where Riku has the wing?
Yeah, yeah. Is that not in the
That's
original?
the final mix box art for
Okay,
Japan.
okay. I was gonna say because I thought Riku had the wing in the original
No.
one, and I was looking at the poster on my wall. I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, the one where Riku has a wing. Oh my god, that is badass. Okay, so yeah, the Kingdom Hearts one and Final Mix, and then I would say the KH3 one.
Actually, actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I actually
Oh,
do have a favorite one. Now that I think
oh,
about it, I'm gonna cheat a little bit, and the comments can hit me with semantics. I don't give a fuck. My favorite one for box art is the all-in-one package cardboard overlay where it's Sora, K3 Sora in the chair, and it has the frames in the background that
mm,
has all the other box arts on it.
that is pretty cool. Yeah.
That's my favorite one. I had already owned 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and everything on PS4. I bought the all-in-one package just so I could have that
Mhm.
that artwork on it.
I, I remember honestly, like this is another thing too, where when we're on the topic of packaging, when 1.5 came out for the PS3 and it had that art book case, I was like, why aren't more games doing that? Like that shit was so fucking cool. And now
Hmm.
cases are just so boring. Like I think Final
Yep.
Fantasy X also did that for its HD remaster with the art book. I don't know, Dream Drop had like a deluxe package, but it came with like postcards and I think you got like unique cards that you could scan. But
Yeah, the AR cards.
yeah, I think KH3 I don't think did it come with an art book? I know there were different deluxe
Yeah,
versions.
I mean, the deluxe version of KH3 came with an art book.
I
Um,
think I have that one.
and then the collector's edition, which was only sold on the Square Enix store, came with the art book and also the toy box versions of Sora, Donald, and Goofy. And I
Right.
almost bought that one, but I talked myself out of it because I was like, man, I'm gonna have to wait for the shipping on that, and I don't know that I can wait. I'm gonna get spoiled for something. So I ended up just getting the deluxe edition.
Yeah, I think well actually is for some reason this is like 5 years. So like when Union Cross had just dropped, Amazon was selling pre-orders for KH3, and I bought it and it was like $30. And I had that reservation for so long until they announced the deluxe edition. And I was like, hey, does anybody want to buy this pre-order off me? I'll just have it shipped to their house from the Amazon warehouse, and I just want the deluxe edition, and I'm just gonna go to the store to buy it. Because I also had that mindset too. It's like, God forbid I had to wait for it to show up in the mail, and then I get spoiled. Because I had to do that with the Dream Drop Distance collection. Like that wasn't in store. I had to order it online, and so I didn't get to play it until like a few days after it was released. But luckily, I wasn't very big on like I don't even think Twitter was really big back then in 2012, 2011, but I was very not big on the internet, so I didn't have anything that could spoil me. But nowadays, even when KH3 came out, I deleted TikTok. I went on no social media whatsoever and just fucking
Same.
forged. I consumed
The
all
the
of Kingdom
only
Hearts
time
3.
the only time I went on social media for when Kingdom Hearts 3 had came out was because Kingdom Hearts 3 had a filter on Snapchat and I just wanted to have a
Ooh,
picture of it.
fair enough, fair enough. Yeah,
Just
you just
wanted to
get in
say I had
there.
it, mark that in history, set in stone, we're good.
I never been a fan of Snapchat, but I definitely would have downloaded it just for that. Definitely a missed opportunity on my end. All right. The next question is: who are some of your favorite KH creators? Except for me, of course. And yes, I did write that in there. So just for anybody who doesn't see the question.
um Key of Time 15
Hmm.
does some fantastic essay style things. Also the biggest 358 days fan ever.
Yeah. Did you see his
Um
hat?
yes, I did.
Oh my god.
I
I
did.
now I'm like, do I want to get a hat for every day with all the titles? I'm like, I'm so
Mhm.
tempted. I would. Ugh, it's such a cool
Yep.
hat.
Um I haven't watched his newest video, but Sunny Novus has some great theory videos.
Hmm.
It's actually like weirdly, it's like the only sort of theory video for Kingdom Hearts that I actually kind of enjoy. Because he just put some fucking flair. He put some sauce on it. It's fucking awesome. I think it also helps that he has that British accent, so it just adds
Oh
with
yeah.
it. But you know, I've been tuning into this guy called Brandon Glovich on Twitch recently. He's super chill. He has a pretty awesome stream community. Uh, I think right now he's playing the Kingdom Hearts series, but
Mhm.
his guitar is his controller. I think is what it is.
Oh.
So like that's pretty cool. Um, uh, there's more. I mean, Nintendo's always pretty good to watch. Um, Battle Roxas is always fun. Uh, I mean, regular Pat. You know
Hmm.
the normal names. I'm trying to have like more like smaller creators that I follow. Um, I mean, obviously there's everyone in our TikTok group.
Right. Yeah.
So just shout out the names right now. MSN Prime 21, Jelly Lizzie, uh, Eliastic, DJ Balot, although he doesn't post anymore.
Mm.
Oath.jpg, sometimes posts every now and again, but every time she does, it's always her shorts are always vibes.
A hundred
Like
percent. Yeah.
they're always vibes. So I quite enjoy when she posts. Um yeah. Oh
Yeah.
OG Scrax is
Mm.
a up and comer. He just hit 1,000 subs on YouTube like
Ah.
literally 5 minutes ago. so
Oh.
so yeah.
Well,
He's cool.
congrats for you, OG.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Um Pau Komi is also a good streamer.
Mm-hmm.
They do a variety of Square Enix stuff, but I quite enjoy their streams sometimes. Uh I'm sure there's gonna be one I think of later, and I'm like, damn it, I should have said that person. But that's who I can. Those are the people I think of right
Yeah, see, it's always interesting because like there's a lot of names that I recognize, but then like a lot that I don't. And
now. Hmm.
I'm definitely gonna definitely look into these people later on for the ones that
Hmm.
I don't follow because
And
I
you should too, dear viewer.
but yeah, it's interesting because there's always the side of like the fandom that you're just um like there's so many people that are out there, and it's always interesting to see how people are doing their thing, and like seeing the different personalities and all this stuff, and just like their entire library. And I feel like you can only like scratch the surface, especially with YouTube. Like there's so much that YouTube has to offer. Like I feel like for the most part, I've like we mentioned, we've kind of like know everybody when it comes to TikTok because we've been in that space. But YouTube, I feel like it's just one of those worlds where I'm just like, I want to explore, like I want to see what's out there, and see who's all doing their thing and how they're doing it.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, definitely a very insightful list,
Oh,
and
I
I
should
will
have said
definitely check them
myself.
out.
Dang it.
No, no, next question,
I'm
next
thinking
question.
about it. Damn it.
uh so what is a world that you really want to see in a future Kingdom Hearts game?
I think it's the same worlds that everyone wants to see, either Atlantis or Treasure Planet.
Mm, not
I,
even
I,
an
I
Emperor's New Groove world?
the more I think about an Emperor's New Groove world, the more I'm like, how would that really work? And then I'm like, well, if anything, I more so just want a llama themed Keyblade than
Mm.
the world.
Dude, Lama Sora, make it work.
Llama Sora, that'd be fun. Dude, I'd play the piss out of that world. You know,
Dude.
like, yeah, no, you've sold me. No, I want an Emperor's New Groove world.
Yeah, no, it could just be like Pride Lands, but
Yeah,
you're just a llama and you're sliding everywhere.
yeah,
I just want to see that Kronk fight. That'll be peak.
it'd be so good.
But yeah, no, I'm honestly surprised we haven't gotten a Treasure Planet world. I think they attempted and then it got scrapped. But Atlantis would have made a fantastic world too. Honestly, sometimes I want to just like I really want to talk to Nomura and just be like, have you thought about it though? And like, what's holding you back? What is Disney saying? Can I
Well,
talk to
hey
them?
man,
Can I
hey
convince them?
man, what's going on? Level with me.
Because like, I feel like you could even make cool worlds out of like even the lesser known ones, like the Black Cauldron. Like that is like such a concept of like you could make a world with it. You can make it work. But I wonder if it's just like Disney's like, nah, I don't fucks with that, so you ain't using that. And I'm like, ugh.
Mm.
But I don't know. Maybe we'll see it. I guess I'm curious to see what new worlds we get for future titles. If Missing Link even provides us new worlds, which I feel like it's probably not. I feel like we're just gonna get rehash of other worlds. If we do get worlds, I'm not sure how that all works, but um, super curious. Also, part of me feels like I shouldn't watch the trailers, but I know me and I have no self control. So we'll see. Maybe I'll see like the first one just to get the feel of like what direction they're going to. They're going in.
Mm.
All right. So next one is there a mechanic from a previous game that you want to see returned in a future title?
Flow motion. And I
Yes.
don't mean the KH3 like action flow or whatever it's called. I'm talking proper flow motion from Dream Drop Distance, because there was nothing more fun in that game than
Yes.
bouncing around the walls like a coked up gerbil. It was awesome. I loved it.
There's so many people that complain about flow motion because they're just like it breaks the game. Like, you could go anywhere, and I'm like, no,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
beauty
fun.
of it.
Like it's so good.
Dude, when it got put into Kingdom Hearts 3, I was like so excited, and then I played it and I'm like, this is a shell of what its former self used to be. How
Yeah.
dare they?
Now, okay, listen, hear me out. Imagine San Francisco, but you have proper flow motion.
Oh god.
That would be my favorite world
That
in
would
all of
be
Kingdom Hearts.
I really hope they bring that back. And which is interesting too cuz have you ever played Dissidia?
Once, and I didn't have fun.
Mm. So like the way they move into Cydia, they kind of like float around. I'm kind of
Mm.
curious if that's where the concept of flow motion came from, because if that is, it would be pretty interesting to see of like that parallel of like Final Fantasy influencing Kingdom Hearts, because that's
Well,
also like. Hmm?
here's the fun thing about that. Did you know that the Cydia was originally in concept supposed to be a
Yes.
Kingdom Hearts fighting game?
Yes, I did know about that. And then they said that there wasn't enough Kingdom Hearts characters at the time to make it work. So then they scrapped the idea, and then they went Final Fantasy characters, which is interesting, because if that was the case, we would have gone full circle from a flow motion game prior to Dream Drop Distance to get turned into a Final Fantasy game to be influenced into a future Kingdom Hearts game. If that is the case, it's very like Final Fantasy versus 13 to
Yeah.
Verum Rex vibes, which at this point they're all just the same games. Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. There's just though, I mean, they pretty much exist in the same realm, or at least whatever the lore says, that if that version of Yuffie and Aerith and Cloud is the same as the other
Comments
one.
get them.
Well, because I've heard that in the new remake that they have like different timelines or realities,
Don't
and I'm
okay.
like,
Don't get too far into it. I haven't beaten Rebirth yet.
oh, is that the first one?
No, remake is the first one, and
Okay,
they
I
haven't,
don't.
as far as I'm aware, they haven't really confirmed a lot as far as certain timelines is concerned. It's
Mhm.
just like some things ain't lining up.
Okay,
So
so here's my thing. I've not played them. I know nothing about the games other than what people have said, and I only
okay,
know about the ending of the first one. So that's
okay,
what I'm referencing to. If something does happen akin to what I'm saying, I have that's just literally me saying it, just a shot in the dark. I have no context in what I'm saying. I just know that people were like complaining because they felt like it was very Kingdom Hearts. And of course, they do the thing where they complain that Nomura is fucking up their games. But I was just like, bro, if we get KH Cloud in Final Fantasy VII, I mean, you're not gonna hear me complain. I'm all for it if they somehow tie the actual story of Olympus Coliseum, and that's where Cloud went after the end of KH2 when he fights Sephiroth. Will not hear a qualm out of me. Um, but yeah, no, flow motion 100%. I guess let's flip this the other way around. Is there a mechanic that you despise that you never want to see again?
the
If you
health bar. I think we should just be invincible the entire time. Nah, there's not really one that I dislike.
you would want the Chain of Memories combat to come back? Would you be against that?
Um, if they retooled it a little bit, I'd be fine with it. But I
Yeah,
would hope
I
I would hope they don't bring it back, only because it would turn so many people off,
yeah.
and it would just create another barrier for people to bitch and moan about. So
I
if you want to pull my arm on that one, then I guess Chain of Memories mechanics. But
yeah.
nah,
I mean,
aside from that, I don't really have anything.
yeah. I will give Kingdom Hearts credit for the fact that they don't recycle a lot of their gimmicks. Um, I'm happy that they always try to do something new with every game. So um, I'm happy to put that one in the past.
Yeah.
All right, and then the final question I have for you here: if Disney did not partner up with Square Enix, or I'm sorry, hold on, this is the other way around. If Square Enix didn't partner up with Disney, what company would you have liked to see them partner up with instead? So take Kingdom Hearts, but instead of Disney characters, we got characters from other franchises.
I think Shonen Jump.
I 100% agree with that. I think
Yeah.
that would be such a phenomenal concept.
Yep.
Like, there's so many good stories, so many great characters. Oh, I hope. I don't think that that'll ever happen. I guess if it does, it's probably going to be its own separate thing. I guess we got Jump Force, but that in itself has not been the greatest.
Yeah, I was about to say like I think Jump Force was fun as a little shitter party game for
Hmm.
you and your friends to play. As far as it being an arena fighter goes, I was like, damn, they dropped the ball on this one.
Yeah, I
But I liked it though.
yeah, I hope we get a story based game at some point, even if it's just a cheap knockoff of Kingdom Hearts. I will take Shonen Hearts any day of the week.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all the questions that I've got for you. I'd say I've learned a lot, very insightful. So and I would hope that everybody who's listening as well is also um, feel like they have some tidbits of information from your time on YouTube and making content that they themselves can take into, if they make content, a different perspective from the viewers, so they can be like, oh, okay, so this is that mindset that they had, when they make stuff, and maybe shine a whole different light on it. But
Yeah. I hope I've adequately provided that for anyone listening.
yeah, no, I'd say so. I'd say so. It's been very informative, very fun, very interesting. And overall, I just want to say thank you for taking the time, especially since you went into this knowing that this was not going to be a simple, small thing. We've been talking for like 5 hours, even though I only recorded like 3.5 hours of it. But I applaud you for sticking through it all. And then here we are, we made it at the end. Oh, like half day later. But
It's all good. I enjoyed myself. I
mhm.
had fun.
But yeah, I definitely don't want to hold you up too much longer because I know you're hungry. I'm definitely
I'm
hungry.
starving, bro.
But if
We
lastly,
could have gone until 4 a.m. if it hadn't been for my stomach. Just
to
just
be
so you know.
honest, yeah, I mean, hell, we should have just like just each order DoorDash and be like, all right, round two,
I
let's
no,
go.
I thought about DoorDashing, but I'm trying to save money right now.
I
So I
feel
was like,
that,
dang, I gotta
yeah.
go get food myself. Like,
But yeah, but if you want to leave any last words, go for it. The floor is yours. If you want to plug again, or if you have any additional words of wisdom, go for it.
uh, yeah. I have been Nobody Daxian. You can find me at Nobody Daxian on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, yada yada yada. Um, subscribe to Brisk Apollo.
Oh, the
Ooh,
redirect.
I know. Redirect.
Oh, it's all coming together. Nomura wrote this entire podcast.
Yeah, actually.
This is canon to the Kingdom Hearts timeline. Tune in next episode when we time travel and talk to our past selves.